Good afternoon. It is Friday, June 12th, the perfect day of the week to play some Raiders of the Lost Artifacts, which is a OSR by Night Owl Entertainment or something like that. Some of you old schoolers, you OSR guys will know what it is. This is Roleplay Cafe, and on my left is Mr. Del Branham. He will be our lone hero today in this adventure, and I am your GM, right? And we're going to begin. It is 1939. Hayden Stratford has been called in from his hometown, which right now we don't know what that is, but a local sheriff in Louisiana, small Louisiana county, has called in our mercenary Hayden Stratford and employed him as a vigilante in illegal employment to rid his little county of bootleggers. And we find our hero Hayden Stratford on his small boat in these swamps at midnight in Louisiana as he approaches where he has been told the bootleggers reside in this swamp.
Okay. I'm paddling out looking for reptiles, any creatures of the night, snakes, crocodiles. I hear they're out here in forts. So I've heard. Not like that. The neck of the woods I'm usually from. This is far afield. Okay, I'm spying, looking through the low-hanging moss, the Spanish moss hanging down, obscuring. I feel like I'm getting closer to where he's saying that they're located.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I let it ride and just listen and look.
Yeah, every once in a while you hear something in the water, fish, maybe a croc, and of course once in a while you hear insects of the night sky, and in the distance you now can see a lamp, which looks like it may be a lamp in the distance. You hear a little bit of what sounds like music, maybe a mandolin or banjo. Somebody's picking. It's not a full-blown, but somebody's out picking, and it breaks the silence of the night, of the midnight silence as you approach. Floating through these trees, you now can see to your right there is a dock. You can see at that dock are a handful of boats, it looks like. You can see now there are two buildings. These appear to be, for the most part, wooden shacks perched on elevated structures in the water. And you can see now the glow of a couple of lamps on those docks. But from here, you do not spy immediately any people.
Okay. Keep playing, boys. Let me know where you are. Mm-hmm. I go in a little bit closer and try to slip. I'm down low in the boat, mm-hmm. and trying to slip in from the side. Is it well lit with the moon? I know there's canopy.
It's probably, yeah, it's a little bit. It's not a full moon, but yeah, it's again, we got a low ceiling down here in Louisiana, right? Yeah. Cloud. We generally have a low cloud ceiling in the south, so maybe not great, but it's pretty good. But you're not lit you're not lit up like you would be here in Colorado.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah, I guess that's just what I was wanting. Stay around the base. I'm skirted away from the trees or whatever. I'm always a snake had fallen out earlier and splashed into the water near the boat. So I'm always kind of worried about that. Mm-hmm. And I'm pulling up to the side of where the little dock is, and it's still listening and just letting the boat crank up, bump up to it and nestle up to it, and I'll slip off.
Yeah, you're now on a wooden, and it creaks, quite a bit under your feet as you step off the boat onto the dock. It creaks, and to you, sounds really loud. However, you can still hear somebody picking, and as you creak off, you hear the groan of the wood of this pier. I would assume arresting your momentum immediately, listening.
Yeah.
You hear it stop, and then you hear it start up again. Somebody's just picking away. It is definitely toward the two buildings, right? You're now left. You've hit dock side. The two buildings are to your left, down the dock. They're
Okay.
one-story buildings. They look like they're probably single-room buildings, but you can't tell from out here whether there's some kind of divider inside the building that breaks up rooms. But you've
So,
seen these kind of rat holes before, these kind of shacks before.
and they kind of, the sound appears to be coming from
From around the front of the closest building, right?
Yeah. Okay. I move along the dock. I want to get around, going around the back side of the building,
Okay.
and try to get in between the two as I'm going along, looking for any kind of window openings or anything
Yep.
to spot into.
So as you move down quietly, and you come to the back corner of the house, you can still hear somebody around the front of the house picking, and then you slide over under a window, and as you pop up, you see sitting there at a chair. He appears to be whittling or something. He's got a stogie. He has a looks like some kind of a hat, probably similar to the one you may wear on adventures.
Yeah.
His feet are up. Sitting in front of him is a large jug of moonshine, it looks like, and he is soaked, as it is a hot and sweltering evening.
Yeah.
In the far corner sleeps someone on a cot, shotgun leaned up against the wall in that far corner. And this guy just appears to be whittling away on something. And they're probably, as you peek up into this room, they don't appear to have heard you. And they're probably 7 feet from this window into the center of the room. You do see there is another doorway out of this room that is interior. It goes into another room in this building.
Okay.
And you can hear now clearly coming through they don't have doors on them. They're like open doorways.
Yeah.
You can hear the banjo now plainly coming through that door, through your window. So whoever's playing must be sitting out front, right outside that door. Same room.
Okay. I slip down and back a little bit and look at about the size of the area that
It's
you
about
said
12. It's about 12 feet larger than where this door is. So there's another probably 8 feet of another piece of that building, and then there's another building obviously next to it, not attached.
Okay, and the guy that was laying on the cot, he seems to be out, right?
He looks like he's sleeping. Yes.
Okay. I go ahead and I reach down and grab my revolver.
Mm-hmm.
And lightly tap on the back of the like the side of the window to the right of me.
Okay. So you're under the left side of the window. You want to tap on the right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now
and I'm down.
So let's see if you can gauge, because you've got banjo, somebody picking a banjo. Let's see if you can gauge if it lightly is too light or lightly is too heavy. Let's make a wisdom roll with your modifier. Do you have a modifier? You do not. So just straight luck roll. You've got to beat 12 with no wisdom modifier.
2.
Okay. So tell me, do you want to go lighter or heavier? You can't tell. You don't know if you're going to do it, but do you want to go lighter or heavier?
I want to go lighter just to catch the guy who's sitting there whittling.
Okay, so I'm going to modify whether he hears this by the banjo and your failed attempt at being just loud enough. As you bang it, you don't hear any movement. You don't hear you don't hear groaning. You don't hear the chair. You don't have feet. You don't hear any movement. If you peek up and in, you see he's still working away. Every once in a while, he taps it off, knocking loose wood, shavings, and he goes back to it.
Okay, I slip down a little lower and continue on to the second building.
Okay.
And try to see if there's a back window in it.
So as you slink along the back side, Okay, as you sneak along the back side, you come to a doorway on this part of the building. And
Yeah.
again, there are no doors there were no doors on the one you looked at. Interior door had no door on it. The front
Yeah.
door of this shack had no door. So this door, from where as you slide up to it, doesn't appear to have a door on it as well. You do hear the banjo stop, and you hear him say, "Leroy, bring me some of that hooch." "Oh, I ain't sure, old lady. You come get it." And you hear a creak of chair, and you hear the guy walk in, and you can hear this echo out your window as you pass underneath. He's come in that room to get some hooch. You slide over to this door, and as you peek in, you see there's two other guys here appear to be sleeping. As you look closely, they appear to be dressed in overalls. You look around the room quickly. You do not see any available weaponry, as if they certainly aren't carrying weapons on their hips. These guys look like they're probably straight. They may be the brewmasters, so to speak. They may be the guys that brew up this hooch.
Okay. Okay, so there's 5 of them that I'm seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Count. You know, and I'm looking to in the 2 I'm seeing in there, the other guys coming into that room to get.
No, he into the room you were just looking at.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to get that hooch that was sitting on the table.
Okay. I'm gonna. They're both laying on the cots in this room that I'm looking into.
Yes.
All right. I'm wanting to. I'll go ahead and I'm going to back out of this room.
Okay.
And go back to that other window.
Okay. Make a surprise check for me.
Yeah. D20?
No, sir. D6. 1 or 2, basically.
1.
Okay. So as you step out and you start to head back, you look up. You see he's standing, literally at that window, one hand, over, and he leans out and spits onto the dock, and he starts looking about. He hadn't seen you yet, but you literally were sliding back, and he stepped out. He's looking gotcha. Out. He's spit out, and he's looking out on the backside of the dock. And you're probably you're underneath 4 feet from him, and he's looking about him. You can see.
Okay. I'm already made it over there, and he's just popped out right there.
Yep. Had you not rolled the 1 or 2.
No,
you would have ended up. He would have you would have ended up almost face to face with him, right? Or at least he would have spotted you. So right now he hadn't seen you. This is not the guy that was sitting in the chair. This is not the guy that was sleeping. This must be the banjo player.
Yeah, the banjo player. Okay, what I'm going to when he's just looking out, I'm going to slide right up, and I've got my revolver. I'll slide it right up to that. Okay. And I'm gonna arrest it, shut his jaw with it, and you better be quiet, buddy.
Okay, let's real quick. Got to make a little. You actually feel him swallow. You can feel when he swallows it.
Swallow his jaw.
Yeah, you can feel it push your gun down, and he raises one hand. You can see his knuckles on one hand whiten. The other hand kind of eases up like he's shaking. You see, and he's standing there. He's looking around. He can't really see you because you're kind of like underneath him, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I got that, and I'm going to. I'm gonna slide. I'm gonna stand up right beside him and kind of look into the window. See if the other guy's there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's sitting there whittling away. You can see the hooch now is sitting on the window frame. So this guy obviously hit the hooch, came
Yeah.
over to the window, set it down, and was looking out while you were looking at the other room. So you can see his hooch. You can see now, because you're up, you're not in the window, but you're up next to the window. You've got this gun. And as you peek in, you can see he's still whittling away. He hasn't changed his posture a whole lot. He might have put his feet down, might be sitting up now.
How big is this window?
Oh God, I mean, it's pretty good size.
Pretty good size. Okay.
It's like 4, but I mean, it's a large window.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no glass on it. I mean, these are just open. These are like wood huts with open passages, right?
Okay. I stand up. I'm going to wrap my around his head as he's leaning out.
Mm-hmm.
Get outside. I'm going to whisper in his ear real close with him and start pulling him through the window.
Okay. That's going to be tough to do quietly. Yeah. Okay, so as you grab him tightly and pull him, he doesn't fight. We need to make one more roll. Yep, he slides through. You see the jug as you pull him through, and he comes out and he puts one foot down. You got him by the head. You got a gun at his. You can see that jug teetering on the windowsill as he starts to kick his right foot over, and he pops that jug out onto the pier, and it hits and bounces, shattering this mason jug.
Okay.
As you drop him now down under the window on the ground in a headlock with his gun under his chin, and you hear the chair, and he slides up, and you hear that guy say, "Leroy, what you doing? The hell you doing, man?"
And I got, oh boy, I'm kneeling down with him underneath there.
You hear him get up and slide the chair, and you hear him walk over to the window. And again, you're up against this with this guy pinned down.
Okay. He's walking over to the window.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he gets over to the window, mm-hmm. I'm going to you better be quiet or I'll kill you, buddy. Mm-hmm. And when old boy walks up, I'm going to stand immediately up mm-hmm. and grab him by his shirts and pull him and do the same thing with the gun. You know what I mean? Right up against his temple.
Okay. Now you do have initiative. You've surprised him, right? But you're going to have to actually grab him and stick the gun to his temple. So that's just it's a normal to hit roll. This is your marksman with a revolver. Where it's not you're not shooting him, but I'm going to give you your bonus for dex. You have your to hit bonus of 3, so +4 to do this.
Okay, that was critical fail 1.
Oh, okay. So as you pop up, he happens to be turning around, and so when you reach for him, he misses out of the corner of his eyes, and he, holy, what in God's country? He backs up, hits the table and chair. Get up, Johnson. Get up, Joe. And that guy's and you're now looking in. You see him stumbling into the table. You see that Joe guy is starting to wake up, and the guy at your feet is rummaging around now. He's getting spooked.
Okay. I'm immediately ducked back down to the guy at my feet. Get up. Mm-hmm. Grab him and pull him up, and I'll put the gun underneath him, and it has his body locked, okay? Yep. And I'm walking him around, not in between the two sheds.
Outside.
Yeah, okay. To cut them off at the door.
Okay, you hear him, Joe, grab that, and you hear him rumbling around in there, banging around. You hear his feet on the boards as he doesn't head toward the front door. He heads through that door into that other room. You hear him rousing those two guys, barking and rousing. The other guy stumbles to his feet, and then you're going. So at the same time, one is moving through. You're walking up the side of this. You turn the corner to their open, where their open door's at. You can see out of the corner of your eye, this guy who's half asleep reaches for his shotgun there by that door. And then you can hear him in the other part of this building rousing those two sleepers.
Okay, immediately I've got the guy, and I take the gun and point it. Nope. Leave the gun alone.
Okay. He leans out. What? Half awake. Sees
leave it
your
right
gun.
where.
Yeah, and he lets his hands off. Well, now, boy, just be cool, boy. We don't want no trouble with you, mister. Huh?
We cool, all right. We're cool, all right. Mm-hmm. All right. And I'm leading old boy over there in the direction of where that gun is. Okay. So I can get my hand on it.
Okay.
Y'all boys just sit down.
So he's still sitting on the cot because he reached for it, was looking out and reached for it when you got his attention. He backed up. He watches you as you come into the door frame where the shotgun's at. He's looking up at you. This is kind of the door frame is on the front. The cot is kind of to the side, and that shotgun was leaning in the door frame, right?
Okay.
And he never got a hand on it. Now look, Mister, I don't know who you are, but we ain't got no gripes with you.
All right. I got the I reach and grab the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm holding him with the hand, holding him with the thing. I got the gun, holding him with one arm and got the gun,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna let go of the arm. You just don't move if you know what's good for you. And I got the gun to his back, and I reached out and grabbed the shotgun. All right, you other fellas, y'all get out on the dock.
Well, yeah, you hear thumping around, and you see coming out beside you. So you're standing in the door. You grab the shotgun. You got a gun in his back.
Yeah.
Out of the corner of your eye, you see the other three come out of the front, another door to the front, and they're standing there. So you got two inside. You got one inside here. The other three have come through, and you've got two apprehended, right?
Yeah.
So they're to your left now, as you're looking in this room at the guy on the cot, and these three guys out front on the front stoop of this dock, right?
Yeah, you on the cot. Get up. Get out there with your friends.
Yeah. He stands up, hands up, and he slides by his friend who you've got in the doorway out onto the dock, and all four of them now are to your left, and of course this guy you've got your gun to.
Yeah, I'll pivot him out and lead him out, and usher him forward to line up with his buddies. Get over there with your.
Yeah, he scrambles over and looks, and you can see the look on the big guy's face that was whittling as he stumbles toward him. You can see the look on his face, like he is not happy with this guy getting snatched. And he looks at you, hands in the air. He's still got in his hand this thing he's been whittling, and obviously he's got some kind of thumb blade, probably some kind of shucking or hook blade that you use for. Right, that he's been whittling with. It's not a knife. It's kind of like I don't know if you've ever seen those that you shuck crops with. Right, you hold it in your hand. So he's been whittling with that. But he's still got these. The big guy still has these two things in his hands. Now look, I don't know who you are, Mister.
We'll worry about that later. You throw that in the swamp.
Don't make me. This is my whittling knife. Don't make me do that. Now come on, can't we talk? You look like a smart man.
Throw it on the dock. Throw it on the dock, Ben.
All right. He pitches it onto he won't throw it into the water, but he pitches it onto the dock. Now I ain't throwing it in that water now. I'm gonna want my knife back for whittling.
What you boys doing out here?
Oh, now and he brings his hands down in front, holding this thing. Well, now you're on private. The way I see it, you're trespassing. You're on private property. We do what we please out here. How did you get here? What are you doing here?
Do what you please. Do what you please. I'm hearing word that you're doing a little bit too much of what you please. And when you take a what you please and sell it in town, that ain't right. You boys know you've been running some shine up in here.
Is that what this is about? You come out here waving that rod, and this is all about moonshine? You don't take a little liquor yourself?
Well, I've been known to take a hit or two, but that's not what this is all about.
Well, you can put that gun away. We can talk business.
Yeah, but y'all running a business up in here, selling to people, and it's against the law. You ever heard of the law?
Oh, you a lawman? Are you a federal man? Are you a federal man? Is that what this is? We don't like federal men around here. Now, there's a lot of federal men floating out here in these swamps. Are you a G-man?
No, I ain't no G-man.
Then what are you doing here? You ain't the sheriff, and you ain't.
You ain't no never mind. You ain't no never mind about that. I got the upper hand here, and I shake my thing.
Oh no, we're not arguing with that rod, but I tell you,
you're right. And if you boys want to be all right, and make your way out of this, you'll do what I say.
He smiles. He looks kind of back over his shoulders. Yeah, just be calm. Now, here's the deal.
What you looking at? What you
He's just looking at his friends behind
okay?
him, right? Now you
Yeah,
just
or
be
something.
calm. Now the problem here is we either answer to you, it sounds like, or we're gonna have to answer to our boss men who tell us to brew up this moonshine.
Your boss
And the
man. I
boss,
thought you was the boss man.
well, I'm the boss man of these here boys, but we answer to a whole mightier fella than you
Now,
or me.
who would that be?
Oh well, that he comes all the way from Shreveport by way
Come
of
on,
by
you
way
ain't
of
gotta be shy about it.
by way of Chicago. As you can see, we either deal with you now, or we get dealt with by them.
Oh, so you saying you're gonna deal with me now,
I'm
which
I'm
is much
saying I'm
preferable.
saying there's one of you who I don't know with a gun, or we face a whole hell of fire and brimstone coming down on us from Chicago.
Well, let's keep talking. Maybe we
Let
can
me
find.
now wait
Maybe,
now
go ahead.
maybe I can pay you to just turn a blind eye and let us do business here. I mean, you doing this you doing this out of the
What kind of business you making? What what kind of
oh now
you making?
that's I cannot disclose all of our business.
Disclose, that's a mighty big word for
Well, yeah, you got to
a
have big
program
words
like
when
you.
you're dealing with when you're the boss man dealing with the mob when you're dealing with Chicago. Yes. Hmm.
You
What
mean to tell
we
me that
can
you come out here
I think maybe what do you make a year doing this?
and
What
deal
are you
with a bunch
doing?
of hillbillies out in the middle
Hmm.
of the bayou
Hmm.
making
Hmm.
moonshine for some Chicago boy? I think you're full of shit.
No, 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 no.
I
You
think you're full of shit.
no, no. You come out here.
Trying
You,
to play a hand of cards you ain't got.
okay, make a roll for that. Make a that was
All right,
good, man. Make
that was
a
11.
okay 11.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, unfortunately, your charisma's a -1.
I know.
So he smiles and he says, "Now look here. You don't understand what we're trying to tell you. See, we don't make moonshine for them. We pay them a piece of our business, which is now any money we lose, they lose, and well, they're not going to like that. But we don't make moonshine for them. We pay them a percentage of our profits.
So you paying them protection money.
Yeah,
So they won't come out here
I'm
and
paying
fight.
them so they don't put us out of business, like you're trying to do.
So they, yeah, protection money.
Hmm.
Yeah. I've been around the block a time or two.
Now, how much do you make a year? Well, I bet I could pay you right now.
Maybe you paying the wrong fellas protection money.
Oh, so are you going to protect us from the Chicago boys?
The Chicago boys. How much you paying them?
They
So
get
they won't hassle you. So they won't come down in the bayou.
they get 35%.
35%.
35%. And I certainly would
Now,
love to, I'd certainly rather pay you 20%.
how are they going to feel when you're sitting up there drinking half the profits
Wow,
and still,
they
and
don't
still
know.
the other half out the window?
Oh, now you're just talking,
Where'd
son.
you
They
steal?
don't they don't know.
Where'd you steal? I see two little sheds out here.
Oh,
I see a bunch. I see five. There's
hmm,
five of you. One, two, three, four, five.
hmm.
Sitting out here with a little moonshine still, getting drunk and
Hmm.
selling it on the side to the locals out here. I come out here to shut you down,
Ah,
and you telling me this story,
hmm.
this wide, cranked out story about these Chicago boys coming out here and taking a piece of your pie and letting you operate.
Ah. I do wish you would just take some money and go away.
I bet you do. I'd like to do that too, but it would take money.
Hmm. Let me ask you: did Sheriff Laidlaw send you out here?
35%. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not saying he did, but you yourself said the sheriff and his men and all the G men are out here all the time harassing you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if he did send me out here to shut you down? Now, why would he do that? Because you're selling to his local people, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's working. Maybe.
Why ain't he out here? Did you ask yourself that? Why'd he send you out here if the Chicago mob ain't something he wants to get involved with?
If the Chicago mob.
Why wouldn't he come out here and wreck us up?
For one thing, I think you're full of shit on that.
Mm.
Number two, I think the sheriff, he doesn't like you being out here. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that. He wants to get rid of you.
And why would a lawman?
That's why I'm out here.
And why would a lawman who knows we're breaking the law send you out here to do his job? You need to think about this. What's your name, sir?
You saying he's in cahoots with the Chicago?
I'm saying he don't want the wrath and fury of Chicago down upon his head if he shuts us down. But he don't mind if they're on upon your head if you shut us down.
Oh, come on. Come on. Now, the sheriff's going to hire me unlawfully to come out here and take you out.
You got a badge?
Not that he did.
You got a badge?
And you think the sheriff would admit that?
Did he deputize you? Are you telling me
I am a ghost
deputized you?
here. I am a ghost here.
Mm.
Why would Chicago come down on me when they come down on that sheriff?
Mm-hmm.
If I take you out.
Well, they would be getting 30. They would be getting 35% of nothing if you shut us down. Right now, they're getting 35% of something, and they kill for far less, especially some.
Now, the only reason they'd come up to me is if I left one of you bastards alive.
Oh, now it ain't no reason to go. It ain't no reason to get violent.
I'm just theorizing. If I left one of y'all alive and they come down here and go, where's the 35%? Your Chicago mob. And you say, we ain't got it.
But
one boy come in here and took us out, and they come after me. I can see your reasoning now. And I nudge the gun and walk up to him a little bit and kind of doing all that with a gun. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, his eyes, he's sweating pretty profusely. Right, the other guys are standing back there looking, tapping their feet.
Where in the hell is that steel?
He says, well, now we can't tell you now. It's confusing. We're going to have to take you there.
Take me there. On some wild goose chase.
Well, you just don't believe anything we tell you. You're waving a gun in our face. You don't believe anything I'm telling you.
Why the hell would you have that steel part somewhere else? Where is it? A mountain in Montana? Out here in the bayou?
That's a good idea. Them Chicago boys couldn't find us there, right?
How far away is it?
Oh, it's just right over there across this pond.
Right over here across this pond.
Mm-hmm. He reaches out to point, again, opposite the front door, right? He's pointing out across the water. He said, there's just a little old lake out there, nice and safe from any bully boys with their bats and clubs come to bust us up, come to bust up those steels.
Okay. Now, I'm looking around for any kind of rope, whatever to tie them.
Yeah, it's a dock, so there's coiled rope, there's stuff all over.
Okay, I'm walking over there and lean down and pick up some coil rope, right?
Okay, go ahead. Unbelievable! Holy shit! I'm gonna have to change dice. Those dice are bent toward Mr. Del Branham.
All right, look here. I'm gonna walk over there and start tying up, behind the back of one of them, right?
Okay.
And his hands. I'll leave a length of it. As I'm talking with him and bullshitting with him, got my gun. You give me your hands, and I tie look around here, and then run the next one over to the third guy.
Okay.
I get 4 of them all tied up.
Unbelievable.
Okay. And I walk the first one over there. I got 4 of them tied up. You sit your Billy Bad ass down there while I put these. You can take me and show me what the steel is. This fabled steel.
So are you taking the leader?
Well, I'm taking the first one I tied up, and I'm saying, I'm sitting him down, and I'll push him off into the water.
Oh no, sir! Don't do that now. And he's
sitting there, Bob. There, okay. He's got his hands tied up.
Yeah. No, get me out of here now. This crocodile in here, and he starts kicking his feet.
You funny. He's sitting there bobbing, right? I got inside the rope looped up over to one of the dock piers, and I'll put the next guy over like that. So they're all bobbing there off the edge of the pier, but their hands are behind them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I say they look like little corks.
All right. 4.
We'll be back before the Gators do. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
all right.
You can't leave. Charles, tell him he can't leave us here like this.
We'll be back. He said it's just around the corner. It's not like we're going to Montana. Here, come on, boy.
Oh my God!
Come on, Billy.
Unbelievable. All right, so he leads you over to the closest boat. It's got a little motor on it. He steps off in it and he says, "Boy, you was playing with fire. There's 4 men there may lose their lower well, whatever." And he cranks a couple times and this thing explodes to life. This rattling engine, and he sits down at the back end of it, and he nods for you to. Well, you might want to get yourself safe there. And then he starts. It chugs along, spitting smoke and putts.
No, you get in the front. You get in the front. I'm gonna steer this.
Okay. He starts to stand up. You guys are now a little bit away from the dock, right? So he stands up, boat's rocking a little bit.
No, I rock it a little bit more.
No, now calm down.
All right. Then sit your ass down quick.
Okay, so unbelievable. He does. He plops down there and leaves you space.
All right.
It's right there now. Right out there.
Tell us where to go. All right. Okay. I take out my flashlight from
Okay.
Well,
he points it out. Yep, just on there, that way. And you crank this up. It rattles. It pops, smokes. It feels like it's barely hanging on the back of this boat. It's probably not bolted down real well. And you're off buzzing along here at about 25 miles an hour, maybe 25. You go for a while until you see lit up something on the horizon. Right, you can see it's darker. The horizon line rises and it's darker. You can see some trees. So indeed, you're coming to a little island or at least some inlet or something. And you can see just in those trees, it looks like another little building. The black silhouette of another building with lights on.
Oh, look at that, Billy. Looks like your ass wouldn't line.
Yep. And as you buzz in, right? Make a wisdom check for me.
Who's up in there?
Oh, there ain't nobody. Nobody's up there now. That's day work. We all go back there. And 4? Okay, yeah. So as you putt along there and slide into the mud up onto the shore, stop. Yeah. It dies. The motor dies as you let off the gas. He stands up, and at this point, you hear him yell out, "We got company, boys!" And he jumps and is rolling in the mud, trying to get away from you. Right now, you've got opportunity to go first.
But it's still sky high, baby. All right.
He just dived off into the mud, rolling away on the shore, trying not to get shot. Right. He's doing evasive action.
Okay.
Right. But he yelled out, "We got company, boys!" as he's dived into the mud.
Okay. I step off the boat as he's doing his little roll. Right? Okay. Get your ass up. And I got that. I got the shotgun in one arm. I picked up out of the boat. I got the revolver in the other. Get up. Get up now. Get your cool ass up.
He's all muddy and wet, and it's sticking to his sweaty skin. He's wearing one of them He's
Yeah.
wearing overalls, no shirt, but covered in mud now.
Silk.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
All
And
right.
he stands up and he's sweating now. He's got a terrified look on his face as he just. And you hear somebody whistle out, echoes through the night from the little house with
Yeah.
the light on. Charlie, that you? That?
Get up.
What's
Get up.
going on? What is it out there? There.
Tell him you're just funning. Tell him you're just funning now. And I got the gun to his back, and I got my hand to his back. Shadowed it. You said he's a big old boy.
Yep. Man, I'm telling you, you have made every single reaction
Yeah,
check.
yeah.
Unbelievable. And I modify with gun and intimidation, but damn, you've made everyone. No, we're just coming out to get us some moonshine. There's some boys from town want some more. Oh, well, come on up, Charlie. Come on up. And again, you're probably
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
60 yards from the house.
It's nice to meet you, Charlie.
Yeah, he's huffing and puffing, and he walks you up toward the house in this mud and muck.
How many boys you got up in that still?
Okay, let's see if he tells you the truth.
I nudge him.
I'm gonna have to change dice again. Let me try some different dice.
It's about time, man. You was killing me in them football games.
Yeah. He stops and says, "Listen now, it's my boy, Junior, Charlie Jr., right, and his cousin Connor."
Charlie, call it. Thanks. Call out to him there. Call him by name. Junior,
bring me down some moonshine. Bring me down a couple of them moonshine. We got to take them back over there. Some high school boys in town want some of that. Yes, sir, Daddy. And you hear them up there banging around, and you hear splat, splat, splat as they're running towards you. He gets within about 25 feet and sees now that you're standing there in the dark behind his dad. He may not be able to see the gun, but he sees you standing off behind his pop. He stops, looks about. Daddy, who's this?
Get down on your knees. And then I hit the back of his knees to make him buckle.
Okay.
And drop down in the mud.
So he goes down, cries out as his knees splat, and he's a big guy, about 240 maybe, and his knees sink down in the mud, and his son steps back, drops the moonshine. Daddy, what is this?
Stay calm, boy.
Now things are getting dicey.
Stay calm, boy.
There is, so he does. He's standing there looking, Daddy, what's going on?
I got his daddy by the scruff, the nape of the neck, and I got the gun up. Come on.
You hear a ring out in the night, a gunshot. You hear it whiz by you guys from that house up there. So it sounds like Cousin Connor may not be so inclined as it whizzes by.
Well, I duck behind the big old boys like that, using him as barricade.
And the Junior drops down, crawling back
over
toward
here,
the house.
Connor. Shoot this way, Connor. And I'm leaning right behind his dad.
Okay.
Tell him to shoot.
Oh, again, another rifle shot. And you hear Charlie now, stop that shooting, boy. Stop that shooting.
I smack inside the head.
I
smack inside the head. Tell him to shoot. Tell him to shoot now. Tell the boy to shoot.
And Charlie's crawling off now. He's about 30, 40 feet from you up into the darkness. And you hear him yelling, stop that shooting, Connor.
Charlie.
Oh,
wow. Get your ass back over here, and I fire one at the base of his feet, okay?
Okay, let's roll to make sure that's at the base of his feet. You gotta hit the mark. It's a 10. You just gotta beat a 10 with your +5.
Okay, 4 + 5.
Oh, so you hit him.
No, man.
So that's one of your bullets out of your chamber. You got 5 left. Roll damage. 1d8 as you got him in the hill as he's crawling.
Okay. Ooh, 4.
Okay. Whoo! You hear him scream out, "Oh, Dad, he done shot me!" And you roll.
I grab his dad a little bit. You better calm down. You tell him to get his ass back over here.
You hear him crying and whimpering, "Daddy, Daddy." He's laying there writhing in the mud, and then he's quiet.
Okay,
his feet stop moving, and the boy's quiet. And Charlie, now as you can feel Charlie's muscles tense as you're holding him.
Yeah, Charlie, you better tell Connor to come on down here.
Now this is going to be a big modifier because you've heard his son.
Listen, hey, say, Tell him he done shot his cousin.
You feel his muscles tense, and
Kill him.
he spins. Make a you'll have initiative because you've got him where you want him, but he's turning to fight you now that you shot his son, right?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
He better turn quick.
So what are you doing? You shooting? You hitting him? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm shooting.
Okay, you got 2 shots. If you want to put 2. Okay.
Oh, another 4. Plus 5.
So 9. That misses him. The second bullet. Yep. So he turned just fast enough that you shot and missed.
17 plus 5.
Okay. Damage. 1d8 damage, and you're down to 3 bullets.
5
plus 6 in your.
Well,
your
5
belt.
plus 1, right? Is
yes, plus 1 for marksman.
6.
Okay. So point blank. I don't know. You tell me. Point blank. As the first one kind of spooks you, you shoot it off and it clearly.
I shoot him in the shoulder, man. I want to just put him down like that. You know what I mean? Drop him on his back.
Okay, so you don't want to kill him with that 5.
No, it would be. Yeah, it would be 6 actually with the 5.
Right, that will kill him. So, but if you don't want to kill him, tell me how you incapacitate him. If you don't want to kill him, because it'll kill him. That's enough to kill him.
I just want to blow his shoulder out. You know, some kind of non-vital one.
Right. So he goes down. He goes down, hits, yells out, and then passes out from the pain. You've destroyed his whole shoulder. You know, his rotators, all 6 of those muscles, the AC joint, obliterated it at point blank range. And he appears to have passed out or dead. You don't know, but
damn it, Charlie! I told you not to move.
And the boy's not moving at all. So he may be unconscious or dead. Right? Again, I'm gonna let you choose whether. Now that was you were trying to spook him. You hit him. So I'm assuming you didn't want to kill him.
Connor, look what you done did. You done shot Charlie.
You actually, to your left. Now about 30 in the dark, you hear a snap, crackle, and you realize somebody's running to the left. They're now at your left about 30 feet from you. And you can hear them crackling through the trees.
Immediately, I take off running in that direction. All right?
Toward it?
Yes, toward it.
Okay. So as you do, shot rings out. Your leather jacket is... Okay, so you take one in the shoulder again, or you'll take 5 points of damage as you running off in the dark toward this noise. Something hits you in the shoulder here. 5 points of damage. You have quite a bit, so you're okay. But
I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
You're still running toward it.
A bit. Yeah, I've got the light shining.
Yeah.
Directly. Okay.
Yeah, and as you're shot with a light, you got pistol in one hand, light in the other. You see him, this kid now from behind a tree, shot and then went back, and you can hear him cocking, you know, his Winchester or something.
All right.
This, and again, hard to say that the junior was probably 18. This kid's probably close, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm running up on him.
So
trying to use the flashlight to. Okay. I mean, it's moving all over the place anyway, but
yeah.
I don't know if he's just glance shooting. I want to shoot. I'm going to shoot the tree, okay? Because normally if you shoot the tree, somebody's going to stay right behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to mask me to try to get up to him.
Okay, so again, we're going to make that just a 10. You've got a +5. You're moving, let's say -1, so you get a +4 to hit a 10.
17 plus 4.
Okay, so 1 bullet or 2?
I'll do the 1 right now while I'm running up on it. You said it was only 30 foot, so I should be fair.
Yeah, so you hit it, and that keeps him behind the tree, you know, as it hits. So this turn...
I want to slide right around that tree.
Yep.
And pull up, like right after I shoot, just slide around the tree in the mud and silt.
Okay.
And slide that gun right up into his mouth.
Okay. Yep. And he... wow. He does, but he immediately tries to elbow you in the ribs. So he's fighting for his life. So we got to roll initiative, right? He's panicked or mad, one of the two. I rolled a 2. You need to roll a die 6?
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so you go first.
Okay.
Now you can try to grapple him. You could hit him.
I'm going to crack him inside the head with the butt of the revolver.
And that does 1 die 4 damage as a club if you hit him.
11 plus.
Yep, that's a hit. 1 die 4. Now your strength is -1, so subtract 1 from this 1 die 4 below.
Okay, subtract 1. Right, gotcha. Okay, that would be, I have to use a D8, okay? So I rolled a 5.
Right, so you need to roll 1 die 4 for a club, for the gun, because you're clubbing him, right? Or did you shoot him? I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, I was using a D8 and substitute for a D4. I have one on me, so a 5 or 6 would be 3.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Right. So you did, okay. So you popped him in the head. Okay, he staggers back and is trying to swing back with the butt of this rifle. 20.
Good grief.
Double damage, but it is non-lethal. By the way, this is non-lethal damage.
Yeah.
6 points, but this is non-lethal. Okay. Holy. So he swings it kind of randomly as you clack him in the head, and he hits you in your solar plexus. You feel the pain and the wind kind of come out of you. Ooh, right?
Double over.
That's a double damage shot. So that was like a, oh, you little shit, you
you
lost your air, okay. Okay, so
I back up and grab the side of that tree. Yeah. Totally taken off guard. Like, oh my God, he just hit me like a bull.
6 is my initiative for this round. Woo.
Okay, I got a 4.
Okay, you got a +1 dex, so you still didn't quite get it. He's fumbling around with his gun in melee, but he won't shoot it, and he swings wildly now. At this point, he's let the gun slide down. He's got the barrel, and he's swinging it, the butt end of it at you like a bat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he missed. He's swinging it wildly at you.
I think you hit another 20.
Oh, no. No.
God almighty. Yeah, seriously, when he hit me, I doubled over and grabbed that tree that he was on just to catch my breath. And now I'm going to try to shoot,
Yeah, he's wild. This kid's in like no top. He's got trousers on, no shoes. I mean, these are good old boy hillbilly hicks, right?
It's a good old boy. Yeah, I'm going to tackle him, shoot and grab, and whatever. I'm halfway bent over now anyway.
All right.
Oh my God! Big miss. 3.
Okay, so again, you maybe bump into him. Now you're like wrestling with him, right? Your feet are slipping. His feet are worse because he's in bare feet. You're slipping and sliding. Let's see here. Okay, he's still fighting though. His morale, he still thinks he can beat you, right? He's terrified, right? So let's roll initiative. Unfortunately, ooh, you're gonna beat him because you got a
3.
+1. So you go.
Yeah. All right. I'm slipping and sliding. I'm going to try to re-grasp a little bit quicker on him.
Yep.
Calm down now, boy. Calm down. Okay, that was 6 plus whatever.
Well, with your melee, it's -1 + 2,
That's
so
5.
it's 8. So again, you're swinging. He's so panicked that you can't quite find purchase with this gun, right? Trying to clack him again. He's swinging away. Oh my gosh. He hits again with the club, doing 3 more points of damage. Again, non-lethal. But again, as you're swinging for him, you take another shot. He hits you with the butt of this in your chin. Now you're getting mad, right? I mean, this kid's like.
That's what I was going to say about when he that splits my chin a little bit and blood goes down. All right. I just level that freaking revolver.
Okay.
All right.
He drops the gun at this point. Oh no, mister. Don't kill me. And he's got a little blood coming down from his temple where you hit him the first time.
Put it down. You had to go crazy. You done shot Charlie and your cousin. They're both laying back there.
No, I didn't. No way.
You did. I was sitting there right beside him. What you did?
I didn't mean to shoot him.
Made it. Then you're trying to overkill me.
I didn't mean to shoot him.
Now, give me that damn rifle.
Mister, mister, I wasn't trying to kill him. You know that. You can tell him. You can tell him. You can tell the authority. You know, mister. You know I wasn't shooting at him.
Well, that's not for me to decide. So they got courts and judges. Give me the rifle at least. I tell him you played along and you did what I said and you kept your mind about you. Other than you had about a
he reaches down and picks up this rifle now, all beat up, muddy, and holds it out to you.
Shannon grabbed a rifle. All right.
Are they dead? Mister, did I kill them? Are they dead over there?
Well, hell, you shooting at me so much, I ain't got a chance to check. We can go check on any other boys around in this area.
Oh, no, we're it.
At
night, they let us stay out here and drink a little bit and guard the still,
You ain't been having anything to drink now, do you?
What's that?
I kind of smell his breath. Wait.
No, it makes me sick. No, mister, it makes me sick. I can't hold it. Don't tell him that it makes me sick.
God.
I didn't kill little Charlie.
You're gonna be real sick. You're gonna be sick to your stomach when you see what you did to him. Yeah.
As he follows you over to him, right?
I ain't been following my ass. I'm following him.
Oh, right. Okay. He gets there, and again, they're laid out. They're both unconscious, laid out. He sees them. Oh, Uncle Charlie, what'd I do? And he drops down. Oh, Uncle Charlie.
See if he's got a pulse, boy.
He fumbles around. He sticks his head to his chest. Oh, thank the Lord. He's okay. He's not dead, but he's going to look at his shoulder. What'd I do? And then he scrambles over to his cousin, Junior, and checks him out. Oh, he's alive too. Oh, but his foot. How'd I get him in the foot? Oh my God, his foot. He's lost some toes.
Yeah, you were shooting at him and he dove when he was on the ground trying to get away and you clipped him in the foot, boy.
Oh, I tell you.
Charlie was trying to yell at you to stop.
They told me that.
Fine.
They told me that those Chicago fellas might come out here and get us. So I was just nervous. I thought for sure there was Chicago out here.
All right.
He's wiping his nose.
Look, Chicago fellas coming to get y'all out here.
You ain't Chicago? Oh,
no,
Lord.
I ain't no Chicago. That's what Charlie was telling me about. You say they after y'all?
No, but they warned us that any day now they could come on out here and just take over.
Just take over.
I thought Uncle Charlie was just telling us that to make us scared. Keep on guard, not sleeping out here.
Them city types ain't coming out here in the bayou in the swamps. They don't know how to deal with gators and snakes like you boys do. Mm-hmm. They'd rather have y'all making that shine for them.
Yeah.
Go up there and look at the still, see if it's all right. I promise ain't no Chicago. Let them rest for a little bit. They may come
he stands up. His posture's all as he walks up toward the house. He's probably 16 or so, maybe 2 years younger than the kid.
It's all right, boy. Buck up.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
He walks you up and stands at the door. Again, this is another almost a shack. There appears to be a gabled metal roof on it, though. And when he points into the door, and you walk up, you can see there's lamp on. Then there's a lamp hanging in the rafters. As you go in, you see a still. There's more than one. There appears to be either a big still and another smaller still. They got jugs of moonshine that they're either stacking or gonna fill. You can see up in the loft they've got a ladder up into this metal gable where they can sleep. And it's churning away. I mean, these stills are cooking, right?
Let's cook it. I see y'all got a good setup out here. I don't know what anybody would want to harass you for over it, like you're saying them Chicago boys coming out here. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Hangdog looks up at you. Well, who the hell are you then?
Nobody's
going to harass us. Who the hell are you?
I just coming out here to get a nip.
A nip? Well, you can have bought some.
Charlie's bringing him out here to show the still. And you boys went crazy. A little bit jumpy there, ain't you? Mm-hmm. He must have had y'all riled up worried about them Chicago boys. But I tell you, them Chicago city types ain't coming out here to no bayou. Let me have a little bit of that. I reach up for a cup.
He pulls up a jug and a cup. You don't swing it straight from?
Yeah, what am I thinking? Go ahead. I grab that jug.
He said, "You must be city. You must be a city slicker. You're not a Yank, are you? You sound like you got a little bit of accent."
yeah, I'm not from around here,
Mm-hmm.
but I got word about the place. Want
Mm-hmm.
to come out and see it. And your poor old dead Uncle Charlie was going to show it to me.
Dead? No, he ain't dead.
He dead. I'm just joking with you,
No.
boy. He's laying out there.
Mm-hmm.
He may be all right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just shitting with you because you shot him, but you could have killed him. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
want you to remember that. Your
But you
cousin
know,
too. He
but
went,
you know, you'll tell the sheriff now that I didn't mean to shoot them. You know that now.
well, hell, boy, we got to take him to the hospital now. You know, shot him up. So look,
Oh, I can't. Uncle Charlie will beat me to within an inch of my grave. I take him to a hospital.
how's he gonna beat you with his arms all chewed up?
Oh, but you don't
Look
know my
here, he's
uncle.
got to get his arm better. He's got look. I understand, but you got to get his arm better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's roll him back into that boat, and we'll take him on back.
Mm-hmm.
Because what else is supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got no nurse doctors to look at him out here. He can't be
Mm-hmm.
laid up out here in the
Mm-hmm.
swamp,
Mm-hmm.
bleeding like this.
Okay. Now,
All
what
right.
about the stills?
Now, first of all, when I pull up, was there any boats or anything here?
There is a pulled up on the shore. You noticed to your right there were a couple of smaller rowboats. They weren't motorized
Okay.
like the one you came over on.
Okay. Look, boy. Connor, you know you way back to the city, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know you way
Yes,
back to
sir.
town, right?
Oh yeah, yes, sir.
Listen, I know your Uncle Charlie, when he was taking me out here, he didn't expect all of this to go down.
Mm.
You know, and I know you're nervous about taking him to the town, but he needs somebody to look at him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you got me wondering about these Chicago boys messing with you still out here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want you to do is take this boat here and take him on to town. All right. Take him both to town. You come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit there and watch the still.
What about Junior?
Junior, take him too.
Okay, all right. So he starts to drag him over and pick him up and load him into the boat. Oh, Uncle Charlie, I'm sorry. And he drops him into the boat on his shoulder.
I help him doing that. Okay.
All right. And, oh, thank you, mister. Thank you. And he sets him in. He climbs in. And is this the motorboat you wanted him in?
Yeah. Well, when I'm doing that, I want to see if now both of them's alive still, right? I can feel
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there would only be, now you would have killed them, but I'll give you the choice to have incapacitated them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that would have been enough damage to kill them both. So they're yes, they are alive, but they're incapacitated. I mean, they're bad way, like like one hit point, right?
Yeah. Okay. Now, how far away from town is this?
It probably took you about 30 minutes to get out here. But on the boat going through the swamp, you drove an old pickup the sheriff loaned you to get out to this as far as you could, and then they gave you an old boat and you've rowed out here. So about 30 minutes to your pickup, and then another 20 minutes to town, 30 minutes to town, probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, that's what I'll do. I want to. Yeah, I'll just help him load up, old boy.
Okay.
And say, Connor, you know your way around here. Just take him straight to town.
Okay.
And get some help for him. All right,
Yes,
boy.
sir. Yes. Sir. You think I could drive Uncle Charlie's truck? You think you'd be all right with that?
Well, hell yeah. You're in the back country. It ain't like
All right.
it ain't no emergency or anything.
All right. Thank you. He starts up this old engine, and it putters, jumps to life, and the boat. He pushes the boat off into the water, climbs in, and motors off. You see him disappear into the dark.
All right. I turn on.
You can
turn
hear
on my
the
heel.
engine for quite a ways as it puts away.
Yeah.
Now you're standing here. There's 2 rowboats to your left, and then if you face the stills, of course they're to your right. But
Yeah. Well, I'm going back to the stills.
okay.
Is there any kind of burners in there?
Sure. I mean, they're cooking.
Yeah, they're cooking. All
Yeah.
right. So I'm going to get me as many jugs as I can of that,
Mm-hmm.
take it down into the rowboat, and then set that place ablaze.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing, and I'll go back there
Okay.
and kind of light it up.
So that was prologue. That took an hour and 12 minutes for our prologue, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Now get back on.
so
Get back on
as
that
you
rowboat.
stand on as you row away watching the it all burn, we
Yeah.
fade to black on our prologue. That was brilliant, man. That was awesome.
Oh,
So we won't be able to finish this today probably, but so we fade up to Act 1. It's about 3 weeks later, and you sit in a jail cell. You were brought in by a couple of police officers off the street of Kansas City. Not for breaking the law. They just wanted to have a chat with you. And they put you in an interview room in Kansas City. How you got here from Louisiana? Who knows what that guy paid you? That sheriff paid you for job well done. But you're now making your way through America, right? As a World War I vet mercenary. You're in Kansas City when a couple of black suits with thin ties take you down to Kansas City Police Department, sit you in an interview room, and leave. And a couple minutes later, an old gray-haired guy comes in, bald. He's got milk pattern, sits down across from you, pulls out some Lucky Strikes, and loosens a couple of them, puts one in your face. You want a cigarette?
Yeah, yeah. I ain't had a Lucky in a while.
Okay.
Sure. Hell beats at these Golden Harvest.
He sets it down.
Harvest wing, grab his Lucky Strike.
Taps it out. He lights his up, and then he pitches his cigarettes, his matches to you. Takes a deep draw. Now listen, we've been following your let's just say your special talents for the last few months around this country, and
you've been bird dogging me.
Oh yeah, we've been bird dogging you. We've been watching you. But
here, I thought I had a low profile.
But don't worry, you ain't in any trouble. The government could use your services.
My service ain't the government had enough of my services in the Great War.
He drags and he goes, well, that's one reason why we want you. You must have been a patriot at some point in your life before you started harassing moonshiners, wife beaters, and the like.
I ain't got no legitimate war to fight. What else am I supposed to do?
You ain't been paying attention to what's happening in Europe? Nah, never mind. You ain't going to war. But you may be helping us get an advantage when war comes.
I'm listening. Mm-hmm. What you got to say?
He draws. He taps out a cigarette. He slides in front of you a document. Says War Department on it. You know the National Socialist Party. You know Germany. You familiar at all with Hitler and the National Socialist Party? Yeah, no, never mind. Listen.
What year is this again?
39. So you know he's invaded. You may know. You may not have been paying any attention to the world news, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I just need to know what year it was. I was thinking
39. Mm-hmm.
Before, so. Ain't we courting him?
Courting him?
Maybe gonna be allies with him or something?
All right.
There's some room for that.
Well, no, never mind. I'm not here to discuss foreign policy with you, but I am here
to
tell you.
Why the hell did you bring it up?
Because these men are working in South America, in Argentina.
You talking about Hitler?
Well, these Germans, they've got sympathizers down there in Argentina, and we believe they're helping excavate something that, to be quite honest with you, may help the Germans in the war with Britain and the rest of the world, right? So here's the deal. The government needs to send you down there to do this for us, but because we can't be caught down there officially. It's the perfect job for a man like you. You're not connected.
Always doing someone's
You'll do it for money, right?
Hell, I ain't gonna do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Always got to be doing somebody's damn dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get your hands
Mm-hmm.
messy with it.
And we looked
What
at your
are you
we
supposed to
looked
do
at your
for
war record. For an American over there, you managed to find yourself into action. Most Americans didn't get a whole lot of action in the Great War, but you managed to get in. So you
Yeah,
don't like
well,
Germans, right? It says here on your record you had some.
what action I can get? Yeah.
Uh-huh. So we believe you're no friend of the Germans. That's what we're really looking for here. Is someone's going to go down there and find
Before
out
the
what
end of
these
this,
German expatriates are doing in Argentina, and find out what it is they're excavating. Because rumor has it, it could be either valuable for the Germans or dangerous to the rest of the world.
in Argentina.
Hmm.
Hell, man, it's
You ain't
money.
afraid of a little mosquitoes, are you? You're not afraid of a little.
I don't want to be chasing no gold, no geese unless it's laying a golden egg. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
If there's money to be had, I'll do it.
He
Okay.
slides over a second document, picks it up, shuffles it out of an envelope, spins it around, slides it over. That there's a contract with the War Department Special Group.
Okay, I look over like I'm reading it, but I can't read. I ain't
Okay.
telling them.
He taps at the far end and says, "You just put your signature there, and this says you're going to get $2,000. Job done. Come home with that. Bring that information or artifact, whatever it is, you can bring it home to us. You're going to get 2,000.
$2,000.
Mm-hmm. And we know you can't be
Y'all
making
got
more
me
than.
away over there. Y'all got me away over
Oh
there.
yeah, we'll put you on a plane. We're going to get you down there. We're going to put you in the boat. We're going to get you up the inlet, and we'll put you on the river. We have 3 native guides that'll drag you off into the jungle, hot on the trail of these Germans."
Just find out what they're digging up.
Well, yeah,
All right.
and if it can be obtained, we would appreciate you taking custody of such a thing on behalf of the United States government. Let me phrase that. You take custody of it. We don't want anyone to know the United States government is involved in this.
Of course. You didn't even have to say that. I knew that caveat existed.
Hmm.
All right. All right. All right. Sign me up. When do I leave?
As soon
I'm
as
getting
you're
antsy
ready,
around
just put your mark on the spot, and we
here.
know.
I slide it over and put my X, my mark.
He
Okay.
just slides it around and says,
I
mm-hmm,
drop the pen back.
mm-hmm.
It looks good to me, don't it?
Yep. He
Looks good.
slides it in, and he says, "These boys here," and 2 guys come in. They've been obviously listening from another room. These 2 guys in dark suits that brought you in come in. These boys we're going to drive you over to the bus station. We're going to send you down to Miami, and you're going to be flying out from Miami. Good luck to you. In this satchel, he slides over a satchel. This is all your contact information, right, with these boys in Miami. Don't directly try to contact us. You contact them. They'll contact us, and they'll tell you when you get back.
Yeah.
And good luck to you. He stands up, takes one final drag, dumps the cigarette out, and pushes the Lucky Strikes over, and you can have those for the journey and the matches. And he,
Okay, I take my final drag and I look up at him, and as I'm sliding it back, and I flip it off. Thanks.
Mhm.
And I slip it in my pocket, grab the satchel, and turn around and walk out with 2 guys. All right, boys, lead on.
And that's Act 1. Fade up, Act 2.
He said prologue.
Yeah, prologue was long, man. It was beautiful. Right? It's awesome. Act 2. You have now spent the last, few days traveling, right? Up the inlet into a very thick, mostly Spanish-speaking Latin American country. Tell me, do you speak Spanish? Do you know?
No.
Okay. Do you speak German?
Smattering here and
Okay.
there, just
Smattering of
you know.
German? Okay.
from don't shoot and I give up. I know how to say that.
Right. So you follow with the satchel again. You say you can't read, so they've sent somebody with you to kind of guide you to this point, and it's a small village on the inlet. Right. I'm trying to think of the exact place now, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you, right? I mean, this is a jungle. You're in the deep southern portion of Argentina. He introduces you to 3 little Native Americans. They are Mapuche Indians, which you come to find out are one of the largest Native South American tribes here in southern Argentina. These three little tribesmen have been taking you on the river Chico for the last 3 or 4 days, and you are now deposited north. You traveled northeast, right? And they docked you on the north side of that river, and you have been marching through the jungle for the last 2 days. So it's been about a total of 7 or 8 days on this trip, and you have come to a small what is it called? Mapuche. Mapuche are the name of the Indians. Mapuche tribe, small village where these three Indians make contact with these villagers. They put you up for the night. You've rested here with your baggage. And meanwhile, you do have your full assortment of bullets, right? You're back up to 12 bullets. You have your flashlight. You probably have a machete at this point, right? Something to cut through this jungle. Yep. And at this point, you haven't had a chance, really. They've done all the navigating and all the talking in their native language, and you pretty much went along for the ride. You bark orders, whatever you do, right? You've got a little relationship with these three, but they know what they've been paid to do, and that's to take you to the place. You still don't know where the hell that's at, but you trust these three Native Americans to do what they've been paid to do.
And we've been hacking and whacking for 3 days trying to get to this.
And now you're at this little village. And as you come into this little village, you find, again, a short little Native American village. They're very friendly. They invite you to stay. They fed you. And a couple of days later, as you've been smacking mosquitoes. You've been surviving this unbelievable heat and humidity. And we will have to make a save versus illness. Now, you've been out here a while, so you need to make a save for luck. Your constitution is no modifier, 12 and up.
I was going to say, I was out there smacking mosquitoes off of me going, damn, they're going to send me back. This is worth of that damn bayou.
Yeah.
All right. 7.
Okay. 7?
Well, that was natural test 7.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so you have, again, you've taken some damage from that. So you've been feeling a little sick. Not 100%, a little feverish, right? You don't know exactly what's going on, but unfortunately, this is the nature of the world, right? In the last couple of days it came on you, you've been under the weather. At some point, you're woken up by this tribal leader. He's wearing a hat very much like yours. As a matter of fact, it's a little big for him. It is your hat. He's helped himself to your hat. He said,
I snap it off his head and straighten it and put it back on my head.
Okay. Oh.
My hat.
Let's see how our little Native American okay. He kind of frowns and goes, and he speaks to you.
Mapuche.
Yeah.
Mapuche, my hat. My hat.
And he waves a woman in, and she brings in a steaming cup of something.
Yeah, I'm wiping my head like that.
Yeah, and
whatever.
puts it, and she says in their language, eat. Right.
I grab it.
Yeah, it's nasty. Yeah, right.
Medicine.
No. And he says it in his language again. Eat. You know what that means because you've been traveling.
He's trying to upturn the bowl or whatever, so I
can
just take it and see if I can stomach it.
Yeah.
4.
Spitting it out back into the bowl, right? So right. So hopefully nobody sees it, right? No. And he pushes it back up again. And then he waves the Indians in who can speak both languages. English, partial English. The one of the Indians has been traveling with you. His name is Unta, right? And there is Toure is the other one, and the third is Zane, right? Unte, Zane, and Toure. Doesn't matter really. You may not even refer to him by name. And he says to you, "You have been asleep here 2 days sick," as they translate. You need to eat this up. You've got.
What is that? What is that?
It'll make you better. Don't worry
I already
about
feel like shite. You want me to drink that? It tastes like shite.
Toure had told us you were looking for the other white men from the other place that speak the funny language, the Germans.
Yeah, I'm looking for any white man.
Mm-hmm.
All I see is you.
You need to get well in on your feet, and northwest they will take you where they last saw the Germans.
The Germans, you've seen them. You've seen them. We're close.
I know I have not, but
close by.
But some of my hunters have. They will take you.
this this will make me better.
Mm-hmm. And he
All right.
says again in his
I try to drink the stuff right
okay.
now again. That's 6.
Okay, so maybe it's running down your chin now. As you pull the bowl away, you try to and it's hanging in your teeth. Right, right, right.
Rub it
Maybe
on my
you'll get a little bit in your saliva, but right. Yeah, he laughs, and he stands up and he says something in his language, and Toure says he bids you good day and good luck. His hunters wait for you when you are ready. They will take you to the location they found a couple of days ago.
Yeah, they ain't gonna wait on me, so
Okay.
let's go. And I get up off the cot or whatever, and I grab my belongings
Okay.
and try
And
to get
you
this.
stumble a little bit to the right, very weak. You put a hand on your knee, bend over a little bit as you realize you're going to be at -1, probably on
Yeah.
everything. Right? You are definitely ill. So you're at a -1 for pretty much every roll right now. So back up on your feet. The world spins a little bit, and Toure leads you out, and he says, "We will wait here for you to take you back to civilization when you return." These two, and he points to 2 little Indians, very dark. They've got very long blowpipes. These things are like 7 feet long, and you've heard about these. These are incredibly dangerous poison blowpipes. They stare at you, and one walks up and points, and he says something in his language. And Toure says he wants your hat. You trade the hat for the guide. All right, don't go.
Look, I reach. Do I have a necklace or anything?
Sure, it's up to you.
Okay, I look like that and I say, take off my hat. He may get excited for a second. I remove the necklace. And I put the hat back on, finally hold out.
There's somebody. And he danced around. And Toure says, you did well. He likes this better. And he puts it on his, he puts it around his neck, hangs it there, picks it up. And the other one smiles and nods, doesn't say anything. Yeah. And then they're on their heels and off through the jungle pretty quick. You got to stumble along to track them, right? They're moving pretty quick, quietly through the jungle.
Okay.
And let's see, day 1, first day. Let's roll here to see a little bit of naive narrator now, right? Let's see what goes down on our trip. Okay. Whoo! All right. So first day, you're coming near the end, and these 2 stop and they kneel. They say something, and then you realize they're telling you to kneel behind them. And this is, you've been out here maybe 7-8 hours. The canopy's dark. You can tell the sun's going down, but they quiet and kneel, and they motion you to kneel down beside them.
Okay, I do.
And then they start making their way almost on their haunches through the jungle. These poles literally are above their heads, and at one point they pull these blowpipes off and they carry them here so they don't drag in the mud behind them as they move almost on their haunches through the trees. And you follow behind, clumsy, maybe a little noisier. A couple times they'll stop, look back, and they'll say something to you about being too loud. And then they'll point through the trees. And you see a tent, you see a truck buried up to both axles. This is and it looks like it's some kind of old truck. And you see 3 white men, moving about this truck. And they appear to have built an impromptu camp as their truck is sunk into the mud up to its axles. And they point and they say in a word you now know is German. They say the name of German in their language, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they go shh. They do it. When you do that, they do it back.
He didn't tell me or whatever. I look at them. And I take out the knife. The 3 guys that are there,
mm-hmm. There's three that are mingling around this truck in camp.
What time
They've
is it now?
unloaded, it looks like boxes, and they've unloaded stuff, right?
Uh,
But this is not I mean, this looks like it's an old road, like an old logging road or mining road, something. But
yeah,
this, yeah, I mean, clearly their truck has been, they're camping where their truck is.
has bottomed out. But what time of day is it?
It's getting close to dark. Canopy, it's the thick canopy kind of hides directly the sun from you, but you've been out here 8 hours or so hiking. So,
Okay. So they've gotten stuff off of there. It looks like they've already made a camp. Are they starting to do fire or anything?
no, not yet. And one guy's muddy as shit. Like he's been climbing under this truck, like he's been trying to dig it out. He's just utterly covered in mud.
Okay. Has it been raining recently?
Yes, always light rain. Matter of fact, I didn't roll my weather for today. The weather is currently raining, drizzle.
Yeah.
Now for the canopy, you get it kind of in drips and drabs. Sometimes when the canopy breaks, you'll see the more misty, but it's wet. I mean, you're so wet, it doesn't matter. You're soaked through, right?
Yeah. Does any one of those guys have any kind of insignia that shows the military and what rank?
No, they look like you, but they're they're wearing khakis.
Okay.
They're wearing a heavy duty khaki shirt. They got boots on. There are no emblems on the truck, nothing on their uniforms, nothing on the boxes.
Nothing to distinguish them as far as
Right.
yeah. Okay.
But again, you know that these are supposed to be Nazi sympathizers. They're German expats, is what this guy told you they were. They're not necessarily
I got you.
swastika Nazis, right?
Yeah.
They could be, but I mean the war doc you couldn't read, so there's a lot of information you wouldn't get from that. But that war doc would have gave you a lot more information.
Yeah. I wait till they when I do that. I sit there and wait till the sun goes down and see how they proceed if they're bedding down or whatever.
Yeah, I mean they move around. Eventually, they do make a fire. They do make a fire. You can hear them speaking now. You can't understand them, but you can hear pieces
Yeah.
of it's German. They're clearly German. One guy's over. He's got the hood of the truck open, although the truck's buried all the way up to the axles. But he's in the engine, and it looks like he's taking parts off. And you see him putting parts on the eggs. The other two are making dinner. They're doing something there. These two little natives have sat there almost like in a meditation, watching them quietly the whole time. They've not moved. They've not said a word to each other. They just watch calmly and meditating, in these trees with you. And you watch him get down. He starts packing up pieces of this engine into a box, maybe spark plugs, belts, all kinds of things that he might need for. It appears to be he's cannibalizing the engine of this truck.
Okay. Um, well, I sit there up against one of the trees, resting my eyes, and wait until they bed down.
Okay. Long night. It isn't long before you see that they've built themselves ground cover tents. They actually go out of their way to put up a tent with some kind of ground cover. They climb into them and at this point you realize why. As around your feet and in your pants you feel the biting of ants. The Native Americans, these ants don't appear to bother these native South Americans. So we're gonna have to roll a little bit of damage as these things work on you on your legs and feet. Now that's non-lethal damage, but unfortunately, my friend, you're going to have to make a Constitution check to not kind of lose your mind as these things are working on your ankles and your feet. You've been sitting here all day, all night, right? Okay, so you're able to contain yourself.
Okay.
Right? You can quietly bat them off, shake them off your feet. You're able to contain your wanting to run off or scream out, right?
Yeah. Well, I wait till they crawl in the tents. And I make my move. I look at the other two.
And they
All right.
look and point.
I walk out as quiet as possible. And I was drizzling rain. It's probably masking my movement too much, even though the ground's stuck into my feet as I step.
Okay.
I slide into a tent with a machete right to the throat of one.
Okay.
And hey, get up. And I put my hand across his mouth.
His eyes pop open.
And I smack him underneath with the.
Yeah. As you kind of lift him up, he sits up, as you kind of help him, you guide him up, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
He sits on the edge of the cot. And you can see now that he is young, probably 22, 23. This is not the mechanic that was covered in mud and working on the truck.
Okay.
He has a certain blue eyes, blonde hair. He has a certain demeanor about him. You can see in his eyes that he is not spooked.
I'm looking around inside of the tent for any kind of belongings, books, pictures, mainly.
Mostly his rucksack with maybe a book from home, maybe some kind of heirloom, but mostly it's
going through his stuff right when I got it like that, looking loosely around everything he has in there. All right. Okay, that's fine. He sits there as long as he's a good boy, and then I look at it and kind of, and I see.
Well, what are you looking for? Are you looking for anything in particular?
Well, I'm looking for any kind of indication of the artifact that they may be looking for, or some kind of thing that would clue me into what it might be. Because
there is a map of Argentina that has like a red, where it's been scrawled like a track through this forest you're in.
Yeah.
Right. That isn't on the maps. I mean, there is no road here on the map, so this has been scrawled in by somebody. He's been following this.
Okay, I'll look at it and
at the end of that is a big circle, and it says something in German there. Of course, you don't read German. You don't read, but there is a circle on it where, and again, you don't know where on this map you are, but he was following this.
Yeah, I hold it up to him like that.
And he says something to you in German quietly. Are you still? I guess you really can't dig through that end, right? And
he's there. I still got my knife up or whatever, and I said, and shake it, and usher him toward the exit the tent.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he stands up. He's about 3 inches taller than you. Pretty tall, lean guy. He ducks through the tent, steps out. Laying outside the tent are the two other Germans. The two little Indians stand over them with their blowguns, and their feet are on their backs. You can see they've got blood stains in their shirts. And these two other Germans are
okay. I don't even want to look. That surprised me for a little bit. Look at where they used to be and where they are.
Yeah, and they're wearing, they've got on like a German. They got on one of their caps. They've got a satchel hanging around their shoulder. They've already gone into those tents, killed these guys, and they've looted.
I pulled out my rifle as I'm sheathing my machete. I point to him to the boxes. Okay, open the crates.
He looks and he walks over to the crates, grabs up a crowbar there, looks at you out of the corner of his eye.
Take a half step back.
Right.
And
he says in German, tool, I need to use the tool.
Open the crates. Okay. Open. Great.
He pops them open. As he pops them open, you see there's other tools, digging tools. You see some dynamite, excavation stuff here. You see some, and he pops open another one. It's got some rations. It has ropes. It has lamps and oil. This is all expedition and digging excavation equipment, it looks like.
Okay. I fish out some of the rope and the lantern. I hold up the list again with a circle. and he's opened up all the crates, right? And it's just a bunch of digging
Yes,
equipment.
almost all of it is our tools for digging, for excavation. There are obviously there's some rations, there's some other like camp stuff, like tents and things like that.
Yeah, I'll to the other Mapuche,
Uh-huh.
you know, I'll make gestures toward them like rations and whatever like that. If anything that they pick up, if it rings a bell, they'll pick it up, take it along
Yeah.
to carry it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm holding it up to him. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. He looks at you and frowns, and he says, again, you can pick up pieces of German from your time in the war. He says, are you a fool to hike off? That's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea, but there's gold at the end of this. Get moving.
Dummkopf. And he starts walking off. The little Native Americans are rummaging through this stuff. Most of it they're taking is stuff they can wear. For them, they live in this jungle. They survive 10 times better than anybody else in the world. So they don't really care about anything that they can't. But one does get a shovel, bangs it a couple of times, and he shows it to his friend, and his friend shakes his head, and then they drop the shovel, and they fall in behind you, tapping along. It's dark, right? I mean, you're gonna hike off here about 8 o'clock at night.
I'll wait. I'm gonna go in his tent.
Okay.
I'll tie him up to the car, the rope.
Okay.
And tell Mapuche to watch him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give me some sleep.
Okay. And so now let's make a save for the next morning. See if you break this fever. Again, you didn't get to drink that stuff, right? So no modifier.
No, 5.
Okay, so that means you're going to take a little more damage. Unfortunately, again, this is, I shouldn't say it's non-lethal. It could ultimately, I suppose, kill you.
Yeah.
You're still at a -1 on all your other rolls, right? Again, you have to be awakened. You're feverish and sick, so you want to sleep, right?
Yeah.
The little one of the little Native Americans jostles you, and you wake up. His face is right in your face, and he's got your hat on.
Okay. As I'm waking up, and I just grab the hat from his head, and
he smiles.
Mine comes up. I'll put it on my hat, and then push myself up.
He's
a little game, but,
Yeah, he smiles. You can see he has no front teeth, right? And his bottom teeth have, are intact, but he has no front teeth. He smiles like this gaping.
I've caught the word that they use for German, so I'll repeat it to him, right? In question.
And he just points. Okay. And as you leave the tent, you see the Germans there, soaked, sitting in the ground. He looks horrible. As you can see, he has been out there wet all night, and ants have been eating at him all night long. He is a wreck. And you've got him gagged, so he's probably been trying to scream all night long and yell, right? But
his rest, man.
Yep.
But I get him, tell them to get him up, and then he's gonna lead us again with the map,
Yeah. He stumbles off, and as you head off, you realize this is not so much a road as it is an old track. Maybe hard to say what this is, right? But clearly something came through here before him. It's clear as you march along this makeshift road that this was cleared by earlier expedition, right? He was on a road. Probably this is a supply chain that comes and goes, maybe. You hike for another few hours. Let me check the chart here. Let's see if something comes up in the way. Woo. Oh, interesting. Okay. This is interesting. So we need to actually make a at a -2 for you, -3 because you're sick. You need to make a wisdom check, sir. You need to be to 12 with -3.
No, -3 is 7.
7, okay. Okay, and unfortunately, okay, I'm gonna have to roll this. Okay, as you're moving through the forest, The two little Indians spook, and they take off to the left into the dense jungle without saying a word to you. They vanish. Meanwhile, you see the German stop as you both kind of, so he's in front, they're between you, you're at the back, and as they take off into the jungle, you kind of both turn and look at each other, and you see two darts hit the German in the chest from the right, and he looks up at you, and he you know he I don't know if I'm assuming he's hands are tied, maybe. I don't know if you've untied him or anything, right?
Yeah, I haven't untied him.
Right, and he kind of looks at you and then stumbles. You see blood, dirt, start to saturate his shirt, and then he stumbles forward and toward you, kind of almost running toward you, as you see as he dies before your eyes. Face plants right in front of you, and they're gone. This guy's been darted, and you stand there in this trail with a dead German.
Okay. As soon as I saw him turn around or whatever, I'm following my comrades that jumped off the trail.
Oh, right? Okay. So you're trying to follow them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Let's make a 1d6 check with a 1. You need a 1 to follow them.
6.
Okay. So you run off that direction, right?
Yeah.
Through the woods, scrambling, and you hear following behind you, not movement, but what sounds like I wouldn't say a chant, but almost like some kind of loud vocal, maybe even some kind of instrument, a very loud kind of, it sounds like a scream, following you.
Yeah.
Not on your butt, but I mean behind you, right? Echoing through the canopy. You run for 10 minutes or so, exhausted. Of course, you're feverish. You run as far as you think you can. You still hear this screaming kind of tone that just
as soon as I am to see any kind of a little alcove or something to jump into, whether it be a cave or just under a log, or something of
debris. So you dive behind there's plenty of giant trees with big roots. You dive behind one and duck behind, and you hear this again. It's not stopped for 10 minutes. It's like a one long continuous screeching note that just
I'm
goes.
mudding myself up while it's still going. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to camouflage yourself? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, I'm mudding it up.
Okay. And at about 15, 20 minutes, finally that stops, and you realize after 20 minutes of hiding here, listening, you don't think anybody's been following you. But now you're not certain where you're at.
Okay. I'm going to get up and try to backtrack.
Okay. And you're camouflaged, right? Okay. So you move back the way you came. That's easy enough, right? That's easy enough for you to do, right? Okay. I made a roll. That's why I tell you it was easy enough.
Okay.
I did make a roll for you.
Thankfully, yeah.
So you work your way back to where you abandoned this dead German. And when you get there, you find he has been stripped of boots and pants. They leave him with his shirt. They've rolled him over. They haven't untied him. They leave the darts now broken where he fell on his face, broken off in his chest. But he's not there. And you hear a soft whistle, which you know from the Mapuche is a way they communicate. And your two little friends follow you out of the jungle right behind you. And they have a sour look on their face, terrified. And they speak to each other, and they look at you, and they say a couple of things. Go ahead.
I read the word German, but I'm looking around scanning for footprints or anything of these, whoever was looting the German.
They walk around, they look at and then when you say German, they shake their head. No. And they say another say another name. And when you say German, they shake their head, and then they say Anatola, and you get the sense that they're talking about another South American tribe, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
That obviously terrifies them. They're kind of motioning.
I walk up to him, and the one with the necklace I gave him,
Mhm,
and I pick up the necklace. And I do like that and drop it,
mhm,
point to lead on.
mhm.
You know
And
what I mean?
they're very quickly headed on. They don't want to hang around here long,
Okay.
right? And
I
so
follow as quick.
they're headed that direction. You with the map following behind them. You travel again for the remainder of the day as darkness falls. Canopy. It's been raining on and off. They stop at some point, and they point to a couple of things. Talk to themselves quietly. They point and they talk, and they're snooping around a tree. Uh, and then they look up at you and they shake their head and say no, and they basically say the words camp. That you've learned that from talking to the Mapuche, their word for
Yeah.
camp. They basically say no, no, no camp, no camp, and they don't want to camp here, is what they're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah. I get that. So yeah, I follow.
Okay.
Reluctantly, I look at them and I'm tired. As I'll get out and I
Yep.
say, "Okay, go."
Okay. So they
Push 'em off.
drag off a little farther. They get off that trail. They kind of lead you off that trail for another 30 minutes or so. They come to an area where they clearly feel comfortable, and they begin to make their kind of camp, right? And as you stumble in and you see that they're preparing to rest here, and they appear to pick a pretty good spot. There don't appear to be there's not a lot of mud, not a lot of wet ground, not a lot of overgrowth where there might be poisonous snakes, and no ants apparently here. So they picked a good little spot, and you're able to rest here. You sleep through the night. Let's make a roll for your save for the next morning. See if you break this fever
11.
with a -1. Oh, you missed it by 2.
Man, okay, now we have it.
So you are still sick.
I'm still sick as a dog.
Okay. Still sick. You're only at -1 though, but you are suffering, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So again, you're even more groggy today. You're even, your bones ache. You're miserable. Uh, they
So,
they they try to feed you something, and they get you to your feet. They're mumbling something, talking to themselves. Every time they look at you, they look very concerned. They speak in their language to each other, and they'll look at you. And periodically throughout the day as you travel, they'll stop, come back, and you get the feeling they think you're going to die at some point, right? They gotta, right? They're very
yeah,
concerned about you.
I take the necklace or whatever like that. I'm walking by him, and I pick up the necklace on his neck a little bit, put my hand on his shoulder and step myself, take my hat off and slap it on him. Okay, and then I go back and I go, let's go.
Yeah, he smiles again, no front teeth, and he says thank you in his language, which you've learned while you've been with him, and you head off. You travel for another oh gosh, maybe another 6 hours, exhausted, and you come to where this ends abruptly and drops. You can hear a roaring, and the Mapuche talk and speak and wave their hands, and they say to you in the language you understand is river, and they point down. This like drops off. You can see a trail that goes down, and you can hear echoing up from below. You can't see it because of the dense
Wash.
jungle, but
Yeah.
you can hear a river. And they both now look and nod and point down, and they nod, and then they say in the language again, goodbye, done, and you see them start to back away and off into the trees.
Okay, and I'm just standing there on the cusp of that
Yeah,
ledge.
it's like a trail that goes down, muddy trail that leads down into the deeper into the jungle.
A sign, steady myself, and then slap a mosquito off my neck and just start walking forward.
Okay, and they
Down
they
that trail.
they're gone. They vanish off into the jungle. They've led you where they promised they would. You can
Yeah.
see clearly now. They've actually attempted. Somebody's attempted to actually shore this up and make like natural steps
Steps. Yeah.
down. As you move down this, you realize the closer you get to this roaring river, that it is indeed sculpted pretty well. They were trying desperately to build steps up. As you get now to the base of the river. You can see to your left, they have built a bridge across this river. It is a wooden bridge, big enough for foot traffic. And you can see on the other side now, through the trees, a stone temple, like a pyramid, but it only appears to be 20 feet high out of the muddy ground and green growth. You can see what look like mules from here and horses. You can see a couple of tents, and you can see what appear to be white men walking around this by this temple, by this stone temple coming out of the ground.
Which is only about 20 foot high.
Yeah, this part of it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
The river's loud and wide. This bridge is like a rope bridge. It's been built to cross.
Okay.
And it's about, as you break through this, I mean, the river, there's no canopy over the river. You can kind of track where the sun is in the sky. It's probably 4:30 in the afternoon.
4:30 in the afternoon, but I need to get to where find where they're entering the temple.
Yeah, you can't see it from here on this side of the river. Yeah, you can just see mules, and they've got a camp. Yeah, but hard to say from here the way they're moving around whether there's an entrance on this side at all, or if there is, they're not. None of these appear to be moving to and from the entrance.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get across that bridge to get to the other side to circumnavigate it.
Yeah, and you're sharp enough to know when you're out on that bridge, you are exposed to the horizon line. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean there's no cover when you're out there in the middle of that river, above that river on the bridge, right?
Yeah. Well, it's fairly late, so I'm gonna wait till it drops to nightfall.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be enough cover to where I can make it across there.
Okay.
Without much notice. So, yeah, I just try to get as much rest beforehand.
Okay. So let's roll. Let's see. Let's make a save to see if you get some sleep while you wait, and then that would buy you some hit points back if you can sleep.
Or no.
Wow, you won't suffer any more damage because it's not the next day, but you just didn't get any respite. So you kind of half asleep, feverish, dreaming of the war, maybe the Great War, and fever dreams.
Mosquitoes keeping me
Every
awake.
time you start to drift off, you see that little Indian's toothless grin as he wrestles his hat off your head. You see him, in this feverish dream with a blowgun shooting darts at you. I mean, every time you start to drift off, you have these horrible visions. You finally awaken again, sweating, your bones ache. Again, you're dealing with some kind of serious fever here, right?
I'm going to go ahead and try to get across there.
Yep.
My way to the edge of that bridge.
Okay.
And it's a rope bridge, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to try to make my way across.
From here, as you get up and you make your way down to the rope bridge so you can get on it to cross, you can see there's some lamps or something on in that. You can't see now the temple in the dark. It's dark, but you can see glowing lamps where they've obviously lit lanterns and stuff around the camp. You don't hear hardly any noise at all because the river is so loud. All you can hear is the river. You get midway across this rope bridge. Again, there's moments where you're really dizzy and achy, but you manage to stay upright. You get across this bridge. When you step off, you realize immediately that this is indeed an excavation. And as you step off, you see some mules, horses that are in a protected pen. It's like they've cordoned it off. They've burned away and raised all of the ground cover to protect these animals. They appear to have done everything they can. They may have poured gasoline in the ground or something to keep ants. Right. They've clearly prepped this. You can see too that there's some tents, and you can see another larger tent that you couldn't see before. Dips down into they've put like a canvas tent over a dig site. Right, so it's dark, but you can see they've pulled some canvas tent over a hole in the ground. That's like the center of their other tents, their camp.
Okay.
And they appear to be. There's a handful of guys mingling around here. Some are eating. Some appear to be on duty, watching, but they're not vigilant. I mean, they don't obviously anticipate.
I want to get at that pen where the animals are.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna lean down and smell the ground.
Yep.
Get
So
real
they've
close.
put kerosene or something in, and they've churned it up almost with rakes or something. They've saturated the ground around these animals with kerosene, gasoline, something, probably to keep termites, ants, some whatever. Right?
Um,
May not be a good idea, but that's what they did.
yeah, yeah. I just wanted to verify that, and then I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna unlatch it and take one of the animals out, more of the hardy one,
Okay. Yeah.
okay? And I'll shut the pen.
Okay.
All right. Uh, I'm going to take the animal off and tie it to a tree, off a little bit, off a little ways.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. How
Uh,
far from the nearest tent?
Probably about from the nearest tent.
Yeah.
Uh, well, from the pen, it's going to be
Oh, from the pen. Yeah.
further away from the pen, about 30 foot
Okay.
further out from the pen, and the darkness more so
Okay.
away from
the camp. Yep. Okay.
away from the camp.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
That's easy. You can do that. Yeah.
I'm walk up and get one of the. You said there was torches burning, right? Or lamps?
Well, there's lamps, lanterns. Yeah. About
Yeah.
four. About four.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to the lantern and see if it's easily removable. Basically,
They're just hanging on a. They're hanging on a. They took tree limbs, jammed them into the ground, carved a notch, and hung lanterns on them. Right.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna work my way around to the side and see if I can listen to the language as far as people talking, and get a better eye view of the body count and how many people.
Are you carrying a lantern with you?
No,
Oh,
no,
I thought.
not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said. Okay.
Check and see the situation
Oh,
if it
yes,
was
gotcha.
like easily grab. Gotcha.
Yeah. So as you slink around to the edge behind one of these tents, around to where two of them are sitting at a camp, a fire pit, and they're eating something, and you listen to them closely. It indeed is German. They look again. They're white men. They're speaking in broken German, or not broken. You only understand bits and pieces, but it's German.
No crates or vehicles there, right?
No, it looks like everything is being used. They're excavating. So if there were tools with crates, that's all been broken down. They probably use the wooden crates to burn to make their fires every night, right?
If I can get an idea of the interest of the place,
Well, again, you can see where it's darkness. It's like a huge gaping dark hole below this canvas that's spread across this. Again, it's probably it's probably 50 feet canvas top. And so, and you can see that under it's like a lip. So they either have a huge dig under this canvas roof, right? That you're guessing that, but all you can see is a dark hole under this canvas tent, and that's not lit. Nothing's lit underneath there. You can't see any light coming out from underneath this canvas top.
Okay, it was about 20 foot up. So I want to try to see if I can grab and hoist myself up onto. If it's possible to hoist myself up onto the
top of the tent.
No, the temple itself, not the.
Oh, so you want to go? Yeah, because this is in front of the stone 20-foot temple, right? This is right. You couldn't see it from the other side because it was below horizon line on the other side. So yes, you can come around in the darkness to this stone temple. As you get there, you realize it's about 8 feet. Grab hold, pull yourself up. And then there's about another stone block, about 8 feet. You could pull yourself up. And then there's on the top, it's about 4 feet or 5 feet greater, right? And it's a flat, again, the top is not pointed. It's a flat stone top. And you're up about 16 feet. You got about 4 feet to hoist yourself up. You're on the very top of this.
Well, I haven't climbed down. I just wanted to assess the situation.
Right. Okay.
To look at it.
Yep.
I'm gonna flip back and
this canvas is pulled out from the base of the pyramid, right? So like if you climbed up the side of it, when you're up there, you could look down and see this 50-foot canvas diameter tent that's in front of the temple on the ground floor. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got you. That's
what
I have in mind.
Excavating.
Exactly.
Right. So the temple may be buried deep in the earth, but they're right.
Yeah, I got you. So I slip back and go to the little pen, and I unlatch.
I've rolled the best rolls for you all freaking day.
I've unlatched
You haven't made a roll, but I've made nothing but good rolls.
the pin. I unlatched the pin, but I'm grabbing one of those lanterns on the way over.
Okay.
All right. So I will.
Okay.
Open that lantern up and dump it on the ground to light the kerosene, and let the fire start going up, and slip back off toward the temple. Okay.
Now, what about the animals? You gonna leave them in there?
I said I unlatched it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that.
I didn't open the door, but I unlatched it. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So you can see it's just kind of strange because it doesn't explode into flames, but you can see like a subtle flames in the soil, right? Is it almost like it covers the ground in this boiling blue flame in the mud as it lights? Instead of shooting up like an explosive, the mud just catches fire, right? It's like the mud is on fire, and the animals start to, whinny and panic and scramble, and they start banging the fence sides. They're making enough noise now as you're hiding. You see this. The ones that are awake, these Germans come running over. They're out that pin door and running, and these Germans are looking at the ground burning as they run past, chasing two of these Germans that were eating, chasing the animals away. Right.
Okay.
You hear them yell a couple of times, and then you notice a couple of tent flaps moving around a little bit. You can see a lamp light in one of the tents as you move your way to the excavation front.
I want to get up on the backside and walk my way around on the lower ledge.
Okay. Beautiful. Gotcha.
And try to get above the canopy. Okay.
Yep. And you're watching now Germans come out of their tents, and they're hearing yelling, and you watch them from the other side now, right? Because now you're on the 50-foot side of this canopy, kind of crouched down on the actual stone temple. And you're watching them head over. You hear them yelling and screaming, and as they're obviously trying to figure out what's gone on over there. You figure you counted probably 4 or 5 Germans come out of tents.
Gotcha. And 2 of them I know headed off after that, and then
so
the other ones are
6 to 7 of them you know of.
Okay. I want to slip off the side and use the canopy to drop down at a moment, if I can time it to where, because their attention is elsewhere.
Right.
Drop down.
So from the backside lip, you want to like lift this canvas up and try to slip in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so as you put a foot down in the darkness, you don't feel ground. If you continue to slide out with your hands on the canvas rope that's pinned to this, and you hang, you cannot. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. If I would have pulled up and looked down there, if there's nothing like that, what I'm gonna do is move over to the side.
So dark you can't see a floor. Right.
Move over to the side to where I'm at the side of that canopy. Like if the canopy was a sheet here, and they're off over here.
Yep.
I'm going to slip off. Like if my head is the temple, I'll just slip off right on this side, the further side away from them, and try to, drop myself to the ground.
Yep, gotcha. Okay, so it's still going to be. You can get to the edge where it is sloped, but you're still going to have to drop about 6 feet. All you have to do is roll to stay on your feet. So just make a dex check with again, you're even because you're -1 +1, so even 12 and up.
Oh.
Okay, so you land on this uneven, because again it's sloped. So as you drop in here shallower, about 8 feet down, you feel your ankle, you roll, you're weak, you're tired, you're fevered, you bounce, you roll, you slide for maybe 10, 12 feet. You feel yourself on loose dirt or gravel, you slide, and you bump into something. You realize now you're next to some, looks like a crate. As you feel out in the utter darkness, you feel that it feels wooden to your touch.
Okay, I'm going to let it silent for a minute and just listen.
All you hear up top is the yells in the distance, muffled by this canvas canopy, and you hear it coming out from under the main entrance. You can hear it coming in here.
Fish up my flashlight and click it open. I'll click it while I got it cupped to my side, and I'll slowly unveil it. into deeper because I want to go
Yeah,
into
you
this.
immediately see the crate that you kind of slid into, and it
Yeah.
looks like it's a crate with tools and things in it. And as you pointed around this, you realize this is a huge excavated hole where they started digging down, down, down. You can see the stone temple. It's clearly this thing that's only 20 feet high is deeper in the earth. And as you flash the light down deeper, you see where it's just this mud earth where they've been digging, digging. And you can see at the bottom there is a square doorway down about 70, approximately 65, 70 feet from you.
I'm going to slide down as best I can. Try not to leave tracks, but just
Right.
kind of like a body
Okay.
slide.
Yeah, you slide down, working your way down on your butt. The ground here, for the most part, is dry. It's been covered for a long time. It's deep earth, so not a muddy, wet earth. And
Okay.
you slide down, and you can, as you get down here, you see that they've clearly uncovered a stone door that they have bashed open. There's large pieces of this stone door that they've broken down and dumped, piled up. And as you stand up with your flashlight, peek around the door, they've broken enough of this stone door out that you could slide in one man at a time.
Okay. And that's what exactly I do when I slide down there at the end. I pick up, kind of look in there, judge the width of it, turn sideways, and try to shimmy my way in deeper and see what I unveil.
Now you're in a passage that's about 6 feet wide, about 7 feet tall. You feel like you have to duck because it's so claustrophobic, but you're not 7 feet tall, so you're okay, but it feels very tight, makes you want to walk with your head tilted. It is stone. You move through this in the dark. You can see some footprints on the floor where they have been marching in and out of here.
Is there any kind of a draft?
No. Stagnant?
Okay.
No. You pass along through here for about 70 feet or so, and you come into a larger chamber, and you first pick up something that reflects back. As you come into this chamber and wave your flashlight, you see bright reflection back. Hard to see. It's something reflecting back at you. You can't.
Whenever I shine my light on it reflects back at me.
Right.
Kind of
Right. You can't tell quite how far it is. You might reach out to see.
I turn my light kind of down at my foot level.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The only where I would let the outside halo-ish light kind of
and you
illuminate.
can see right on the edge of that halo what looks like smooth yet lumpy, natural but smooth stone. It appears to be yellowish in color.
Okay, I'm walking up to it, and can I hear my echo as I'm walking?
No.
Okay.
This is you can tell this is a bigger room, but it's not empty. It's not an empty room.
Okay.
Right? There's stuff that eats the acoustics up in here, but it's right.
Exactly.
So as you approach, it's only about 10 feet from you, you touch it. It's smooth. It's got lumps in it, natural lumps. And as you, with your light, let's make an intelligence or wisdom. Make a roll, either one, whatever's higher. Oh, you don't know what's higher. They're both 9, so just roll with a -1. Unfortunately, 9 and below.
Hey, I got 13. So.
Oh, wait, we're rolling over luck. I'm sorry, we are rolling over luck. Sorry. Okay, so you realize this is like and it's. I mean, you're rubbing your hand. It goes as far as you can reach.
Yeah.
Up. It looks to you like gold, some solid gold structure in front of you.
Okay.
But you can't.
I rub it like that, and I look at my hand for gold dust or any kind of.
It's polished. It's basically polished. It's lumpy, but it's polished smooth.
Okay, I do like this as I look through the cracks of my fingers. I'm holding the light
Yep.
up all over it.
It appears there's this. It's a gold. Who knows what in this darkness? You can't see the roof, but it goes all the way up.
Is it some kind of a monolith or statue, or is it?
It seems like it's a giant block of gold. It may actually be a statue, but you can't see the top of it from here.
Okay.
But it might be a block base, a golden block base of a greater statue or something. But it's solid. It looks like it's solid gold. That's if again, you had a pretty good idea. It's gold. 19 is a pretty good roll.
I can see where this would help their war effort.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I take my machete out, uh, and I try to bite into it and get a little bit off of it.
Yep. Yeah, it's soft. Very
And
much like
I
gold. Yep.
pick it out or whatever like that, and put some in my pocket.
Hmm.
Uh, okay, I'm gonna walk around the base of it. I'm looking for anything written on it, or even on the outside walls of this
Okay.
temple. You know what I mean?
Yep. So as you basically turn to the left between the wall,
Yeah,
the stone wall, and this gold block, you're moving through like a corridor. It's about 12 feet wide. When you
yeah,
came in, you had to cross 12 feet to go to it. You see now where they literally are taking chunks out and piling up. They've got a pile of gold chunks, right? And it looks like they've got wheelbarrows that they've been piling this stuff in. They're clearly preparing. None of it appears to have been moved out yet, but it's like they're taking off chunks of it. So as you pass about 25 feet, you come to an area where they are literally carving chunks of gold out and piling up in piles and putting them in wheelbarrows. What you've seen outside from this side of the temple, you didn't circle the temple, so you don't know. But on this side of the temple, you don't know how they're going to haul it out of here other than mules and horses right now, right? But either
yeah.
way, they are preparing to move huge blocks that they've cut out of this, right? You continue past that, down around the corner, and it hits flush into the stone wall. But as it does, it changes from gold to more of a stone color. So it looks as though almost like this had been originally poured into a. It looks like this gold might have been at some point liquid molten and poured in or over something, and
Molded
you can
up.
see where it hits a lip and it didn't go past that lip when it was poured in. This would have been
Yeah.
poured in here in your idea. It could have been hundreds of years ago, right? Who knows when this molten 1,000 years ago, this molten gold would have been poured into here.
I take it.
Meanwhile, you do hit the end of it where it hits the stone outlay, right?
Okay, I take a few chunks out and put them in my pocket,
Okay.
and I'm gonna back out of this thing.
Okay.
Uh, I'm looking at the whole gesture. I don't have anything to write anything down
Right.
uh, with or cameras or anything else. But I will back out of this.
Okay.
Uh, I'm looking at that room for any kind of exit otherwise, but it's
So as you come back to where you came in and cross that opening, and you go down the other way, right? Again, leads along. You're back, from stone wall. You can kind of flash it back and forth. You
yeah,
got the golden wall here, right? Which again
yeah,
you can assume is attached to something above it. It's high as you can point. You get to the end where it changes again into the stone wall, where this had clearly been the break for the gold to hit and make its form. You can see now, though, at this end, there is a gap. There's a gap. There's a gap between the floor and the base of this gold wall, where the gold didn't just puddle up, because it would have puddled up and covered the floor. It
yeah.
clearly rolled down and went through some gap in the floor until it filled up. And but here you can see where the ground or something over time is shifted. You can see where the gold had probably poured all the way down and into a hole below it. Right? It's not big enough. It's only a couple inches, but you now know that there's probably a catch for the excess gold that was poured over whatever this is.
Okay, I've got my flashlight set on my lap. That paper that I was with the map on it,
Mm-hmm.
on the other side, I'm taking a piece of just a piece of dirt or muddied rock and making a little sketch,
Okay.
a rough sketch, and then here or there,
Okay.
and how it looks.
Okay.
Okay, and then I kind of throw the rock down, and I've got those pieces. I had pocketed some of the gold in the wheelbarrow.
Yep.
Right? So I'm going to back out of that thing
Mm-hmm.
and start making my way back up on the side up to the exit
Right.
where the canopy is.
Okay. You want to come in the way you can't really go out the way you came because you dropped 8 feet to the ground. So you'd have to go. You're going to have to walk up out the major entrance, right?
Yeah, well, that's where I thought I came in when I dropped down.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But
Right.
yeah, the major entrance is where I was. try to go out of.
Right. But I mean, you're going to have to go out the mouth because you can't climb that 8. Well, you could try to climb that 8 feet if you wanted to. I bet where you came in on the side where you dropped in.
Yeah, if I can put that crate, if it's close enough, move that crate over there, stand on.
Yep. Just takes time for you to drive it up, driving up the thing. You hear voices up top. They're not screaming in a panic or anything, but at times you hear them barking and talking in German. As you climb up on the crate and you stick your head out this area where you dropped in, you see.
I'll feel that flashlight and look out.
You can see that most of the Germans, you can count 6 of the 7 or so you think are here. They've been shoveling fresh dirt and trying to douse that ground where the ground was on fire. Right? They're shoveling dirt. You can see them stomping around on it, trying to make sure it's out. You see 1 or 2 of the horses. There were about 2 mules, 3 mules, and about 4 horses. You took 1. You see that they've gathered up about 3 of these 6 or 7 horses. The other ones must have gotten deeper into, or they haven't come back with them yet, including the one you had tied off 30 feet away. So they found that one tied up. Okay, and they've brought those back, and they're all shoveling, trying to put out this ground. They're talking. You see 2 that stop between shovel loads, and they're barking at each other like someone did something wrong. Maybe a little blame game going on between 2 of these guys. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as the moment is right, I'm going to. I'm going to lay there for a while until up against that crate.
Okay.
And in there and try to rest some until I hear it die down.
Okay. Yeah. So let's make a roll to see if you fall asleep, pass out with this fever, right? So again, you got to beat a 12 with a -1.
Oh no, that's 2 with a -1.
So you actually fall asleep. Let's see how bad and how long. Okay, not too bad. Until you hear in this fevered state, you jolt awake. You don't know how long you've been asleep, but you fear you may have been asleep a long time. But it's dark, and you see it's quiet, and the thump must have been in your dreams because there's nobody moving about. They're done shoveling. The horses are back in the pen, it looks like, and there's 1 or 2 lamps that have been doused or turned down or out. And it's dark around here, utterly dark.
Okay. I'm going to, at this time, try to just slip up over the lip of that, using the box as leverage, and go up over it and crawl out, belly crawl out, and then try to get up on that lip and walk around that edge to.
Yep.
Wait a minute. I'm going to, at this moment, I'm going to belly crawl to the closest tent, to the rear of the closest tent. Okay.
Yeah, and that's only about 24 feet, 26 feet away or so. It takes you about quietly on your belly. It takes you a few minutes, but you get there. Yep.
Okay. I want to slip in. I'm going to listen to the tent on the outside and slip in if I hear some snoring, basically.
You do hear snoring, and there's no light emanating from the tent, and you do sound like somebody's breathing heavily or snoring a little bit.
Yeah, I slip in there, and I put my hand over the mouth and take the machete and slice the neck.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let him bleed out, and then I take my hand off.
His eyes open, and they roll up in his head. And he starts to gurgle and spit, and you actually feel the warm blood hit your hand as you're holding, so he can't scream, and he moves. Eventually, the blood comes between your fingers and your hand as you pull away, as his blood pumps out all over his chest, floor, hand, right? But he is dead. He's passed out and will die.
Okay, I'm going to back out and belly crawl around. How many tents are there?
4.
I'm going to pass
about 7 Germans earlier.
Yeah, I'm going to pass the second tent and hit the third tent. If there's you said 4 tents.
Yeah.
I'll slip into that second tent using the same thing. Okay.
Okay. I'm making rolls to see if you wake them up. There are 2 in here. but they, again, they're sleeping.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to one of them. The one on the left.
Okay.
Cover him up, slice his throat,
Okay.
and do the same thing. I'll keep him quiet as that.
Okay. Again, he fights. You're getting blood on your legs. You're getting blood on your pants. You get blood on your arm. Because it's you're opening a jugular, so to speak. He flails and fights. Now we're gonna have to make a roll to see if the other one wakes. And he seems to pass out. You turn, look over your shoulder, and the other guy fusses a little bit and rolls over on his side as he's obviously perturbed by some noise, but he doesn't wake up.
I'll let him sleep, and I'll slip out.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going around to where the pin is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to open the pen.
Okay.
And lead out the animals and give them a little smack on the rear with the machete, except for one of them.
Okay.
One beat.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just letting them loose. Like, get out of here.
Yep. So as you do, you hear behind you, sounds like feet in soil. As you take hold of that final mount, and over your corner, over your shoulder, you see a groggy German, putting a hat on, and he's groggily coming out as he thinks he hears something. He looks, and we can roll initiative to see if you can get to him before he can notice you, basically, right?
Yeah. 6.
Okay. So he's kind of groggy, pulls his ball cap over, and he's looking as he must have heard the animals or something, or heard you smacking him on the butt. You don't know where he came from. This is not the one that was in the tent. He must have been supposed to be on guard or something. He must have fallen asleep around here close. You missed it. Anyway, but you have one initiative.
Okay, with the machete right across his.
Okay, so that'll be a plus. Go ahead. You'll get a plus bonus to hit.
Oh, man, 4.
Oh, okay. So, as you swing for him, he groggily kind of wakes up as he realizes somebody's moving toward him, wipes from his and steps back just in time as you whip this thing. He starts. Let's see what he does. Yes, he goes and he starts to speak in German very loudly.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's roll initiative here again. Ooh.
2.
Okay, you have a plus 1.
Oh, wait. Yeah, so it's 3.
Yes.
Yes.
So you got 3. So you win initiative. He is yelled out. He is reaching around as he's backing away from you, like he's looking for a weapon or something on his body. He's patting himself down like he's.
I'm gonna hit him again, with the second strike.
Okay.
That's 6. Man, I can't roll for squat today.
Okay. So again, he dodges that. He dodges that, and he dodges, steps back, raises his hands, and yells out loudly this time, very loudly. You hear it echo through the night, and you now know that these guys must have heard. The ones that are obviously still alive must have heard something. That's his turn. He then, at this point, prepares in kind of a defensive stance. He's being evasive, so he's going to get a modifier to make you miss. But he's knuckled up. He realizes he doesn't have a weapon, so he's kind of prepared to dodge you or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay. 3rd time's the charm. What I get? That's natural 12. So that's
that is a hit on him. Yes.
Okay.
And the machete does 1d6.
Oh man, is it +1 or I'm rolling negative?
You have actually a minus for your strength, so it'll be a -1 to your strength. Roll 1d6 -1.
That's 0 then.
Well, no, you always do a point of damage, so you do 1. Yeah, okay. But you always do something. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. This time you hit him, stab him. He spooks, steps back, and yells out as he throws a punch at you that you step away from. You now hear flaps and other guys yelling in German as they're coming out of their tents. You hear others yelling very high pitched as they realize the one you left alive realizes his bunkmate has been killed, and you hear that tent where you left him asleep. You hear him screaming loudly, like he's wakes up to find a dead friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Out of the corner of your eye, you count coming out of these tents about 3 right now.
Okay. I roll a natural 10 on another strike.
Okay. That won't be enough with his evasive action. He rolls to hit with evasive action. And again, because he's more defensive than he is offensive, both of you are kind of dancing around each other. These other 3 now see and hear, and they're crossing toward you. They will not get into melee this turn, but they will get into melee next turn. So remember, you can also try evasive action or fleeing too. You don't have to fight.
I'm going to, like I said, I was leading that one horse out.
Mm-hmm.
When he stopped, I'm going to run and jump on the back of that horse and head off.
Okay. So while you do that, he gets a shot at you, a parting shot of +2. He has a minus for his defensive action. And again, you feel him kind of grab at you as you fling a leg up on this horse and spur this horse. You hear him yelling now and running. You've already let all the other horses go. You can hear him behind you as you kick off into the darkness, riding along this until the sound of the river drowns out any other yelling. You realize you are right along the river's edge. It's so loud, right? Galloping away on this horse.
Okay.
And into the darkness. So, you're not quite certain where you're going, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm going to,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to actually ride the horse into the river.
Oh.
Right? Let him go, and
you're going to deposit yourself in the river.
Yeah.
Whoo! And we will.
And
we will fade to black as you leap off this winning horse. As your horse leaps off into the river, splash! You're sucked downstream with this screaming, winning horse as it tries to swim and navigate, and you're floating downstream. And we'll fade to black on this adventure. Fantastic, man! That was Act 3. Epilogue would be the end, because Act 3 we went into. I didn't interrupt you. Act 3 was the Temple of the Gods, which you already did. Epilogue would be how it ends. Well, we can narrate that, right? You float downstream, and what? Do you want to tell us how this ends?
Yeah, I want to float downstream to try to get some kind of village, because they're always by a stream.
Yep.
And stream's the fastest way to go. All right.
Half dead, sick, wet, drowned. You float up to some village. They drag you out, feed you, take care of you, right? It's a montage of you getting well, hiking out of the jungle, back to the city.
I give them a piece of the gold that I pocketed, as I do, and then I'll make my way with little trinkets like that until I get back to the city, and I hand over the paperwork with the map on it, and with the drawing I did. It's probably waterlogged or whatever like that, but with it looks almost like a painting now.
Sure, right.
In a watercolor painting.
Yeah.
It was drenched.
Yeah, I could almost see your character once you get to civilization scrambling for a pencil and paper to try to draw from memory better. Right?
Yeah,
I could almost see your character doing that. Right.
Where it is,
Right.
And it's right here, and the little bit of gold I didn't have to barter for my trip back. I get, and I lay it down on the desk of the 2 guys in Miami.
Yep.
I finally take it back, and I said, "This is what is what they're mining," and I describe it. Some great thing. They're probably looking at me like I'm a little bit crazy, but they're the ones who sent me out there.
Yeah, they debrief you. You don't talk to anyone about this. Thank you very much. They pay you your $2,000 in American green dollars.
I put that chip down and said, "This is what they're mining, and give me my money." And then I slide my hand back over the chip and into my pocket.
And they confirm that. Do not tell anyone. They give you a card and they say, if you need to contact us, and then they say, where can we find you in the future?
You'll find me when you need me. Just keep birds out.
Yep, and there it is, and the music comes up, and the credits roll as we cut to you hitchhiking down the highway in 1939, climbing aboard an old Ford pickup, who knows where, from Miami, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And,
Awesome. That was fun.
I had put that part in there because I read that like the special command units in World War II,
Yeah.
they would actually sneak into the camp. The two guys sleep, and they'd slit one of them's throat, and it would just throw the whole enemy into disarray and be nervous. Like,
oh yeah,
go into the camp and do that. Just like it could have been me.
Oh God, yeah, that's definitely in the. I'm trying to think of what is it? Egyptian. Lawrence of Arabia. That was one of the tactics that the what are the Bedouins? Was it the Bedouins that did that to camps? They would sneak in the middle of the night, and kill everybody, and or kill. So that
one of
very,
the two,
very
like the buddy, and you just take one of them off, and it just everybody gets paranoid in there.
Yep.
Can't get no sleep. They can't.
Yep. That's right. That's exactly right. It's awesome. Do you like it? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. Always a good time.
Well, this one I prepared more in a traditional four act movie. But I used random charts once we got past prologue, which I didn't think would take us an hour, but the prologue ended up taking an hour, which is pretty cool. Right? The media res prologue.
Being with some Cajun hillbillies.
Yeah.
That was the game in itself.
Awesome. Yeah, hard to do with it. And you never read the system. You didn't even have your character. You never saw your character, right? Yeah. So you didn't have a character sheet. I have it right here, so I could tell you. And then, yeah, you've not read Raiders, but it's basically D&D via 1939 pulpy action adventure. Yeah. By Night Owl. That's it. Night Owl. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I think it is.
Well, it's sweet. It's sweet. It's a very cool rule book. Well done. I mean, I would play the hell out of this. So, I mean, I love Raiders. I love that kind of Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff. We haven't got into the high adventure yet. This is more, being a one-man show, the way I set this up to start, it was going to depend on how you kind of went into that first. If you went in Rambo, guns blazing, it might have changed this adventure in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
You kind of you're kind of the way you did that kind of set the tone for the pace for how you were, and then you failed your illness roll, your fever check, which kind of made you feverish the whole time.
Yeah, and irritable.
Yeah.
So
well, I enjoyed it. I appreciate you doing it, man.
Yeah, always, man, always. That's good. Yeah, that's memorable. If you want to hunt him down again, just
I still think the minimalist games are probably better for straight naive narrator.
It is, and why I suggested doing the movie stuff, which because we play so many games and so many unfinished potential
one shot
campaigns that don't ever get finished or whatever. So I would love just to do like one shot movie type things. And it was different characters, and then have campaigns too. But instead of having like a slew of campaigns that you never only finish by like 10% of.
So I woke up this morning and I said, well, you know what? Since it turns out I didn't have to go out of town, and I made 2 AIA games.
That was sweet.
I made a Wild West with a random seed generator. Wrote up prep for a Wild West game I was going to offer today, and then I made one. Sci-fi using AIA. So I had prepped AIA for a Wild West game, one off I was going to offer today, and this. And then I said, wait a second, I've got this Raiders game that's been sitting around here. I'm gonna put together something quickly and see if anybody wants to do it. But I had originally this morning said I'd love to run AIA in Wild West.
Yeah.
I've even got the name of the town, I've got all the NPC names, and I've got my random seed generator. Again, we can do those and finish them completely in 2 hours. And utterly random. I mean, you would have been dropped in Sunrise, Arizona, 1870, in that little Wild West town. The other one was you would have been the captain of, or not you, but whoever, you and your crew, captain of the Starhopper, a mining and mapping ship.
Others are great, man. It's just great to jump into a movie like.
That's why I love IDW and IAA, because they're so simple. You can make a character in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and see where it
And
goes.
we only need
You
a
ain't.
D6 to play. Yeah,
I know. I just love like let's play.
yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah,
instead of like let's sit down and then spend I don't know how long making character sheets
yeah, yeah.
and then having a session zero to
Right.
set it to wind up for this epic. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine, but it's great to just sit down and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
let's just roll with
Yep.
something, you know, what I mean?
Yep.
Different
Well,
flavor.
I don't mind it. I mean, I'm as I again, the more I go, the more I want to play. What I want are characters to provide us a reason to keep campaigning. Right? The traditional campaign is a GM prepares this world, prepares a campaign, and then people show up to play. Characters die. We keep. I'd rather go simple, minimalist, launch it with a naive narrator like we were doing with 2061 and Escape Velocity and what's the other one we were doing that with? Oh, our game, Dark Age of Man. And then those characters, their journeys next week, we continue their journeys, right? And all naive narrator,
2061. I mean, if you really can just, the whole point of it to me is to have a character that you remember. You don't remember stat blocks and everything else. It's not that ain't the situation. It's the adventure that characters
Yep.
that has. So I mean,
Well,
that to me.
I can't remember the writer now, but he said events aren't story, characters are story. Events are what happen to characters, and how characters respond to events is what makes the story. The characters are the story. Events are what happen to these characters so we can see the story. But so many people get caught up in events. Events are what make everything go. No, characters responding to events, which is why the random seed generator works, because it's just an event. How you respond to it gives us our story. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, years ago, about almost 30 years ago, I've written a short story, science fiction, and turned it into analog, I think, or something. And Stanley Smiths, which is the editor, big time. I don't know if he's active today or even alive still, but he actually wrote a little note at the top and it gave me an extra thing and said, because it was mainly just a theory, hard science theory that I had that was the driving force of the story. And that's what he said.
Right.
He said it's great that all that's worked out, but that's in the background. Any science fiction, it's all in the background. If you don't have character and story, nobody gives a.
That's right.
That's why
that's why the MacGuffin, we don't give a shit about the MacGuffin. We give a shit about the characters who give a shit about the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
So if your character cares about the thing, then anybody playing or again, you as a player want to care about the thing if your character cares about the thing.
Yeah.
Right? So role playing is a little different than movies or books, etc. But character is still what it's all on, right? It's still about the character.
I know. Yeah. I know. If you don't remember the character, if he's not lively or it isn't.
That doesn't mean he's a superhero who's going to win everything.
No, but you got to have some kind of. He's got to have a personality. He can't be just a cardboard cutout. It's boring as crap.
Yeah.
Like,
and even if we have a party of 4, 5, or 6, that can work as long as we have characters.
Yeah. Don't look at your character sheet, stat block, and then say, No, flesh it out. Give him some life. Breathe some life into it.
Right.
Personality. Let him interact with others, even in his party.
Right.
And it goes.
Yep.
Otherwise, you go there. You don't want to go back to just moving it. Moving something around. Going, what is your character? Oh, he's plus so and so.
Right.
Yeah. I care less, man. Who is your character? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who? Not what. Who? Right.
Exactly. So no, I'm glad we're doing this. I love the one-on-one, and the group stuff is fine too. Whenever I like to engage with the group.
Well, ironically, I mean, I would love to be doing this with 3, 4 people, but we just couldn't get anybody else. So, and I'm not. I mean, I like one-on-one games, but a lot of guys don't. So, fortunately, you seem to be okay with it. So we have some fun. But I mean, it would have been great to get a couple of guys. But Friday afternoon, people are at work generally. So.
Well, I love the fact that we was playing 2061 with just one-on-one, and then when we added Donnie, that was fun too.
It's all it took. It just took one other person for you two to play off each other.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, because the hard part while you're by yourself is if you mess up, like these Nazis, I was rolling to see every time you said I was going to move to here, I'd roll to see if somebody spotted you.
Oh, I know.
right?
I would
And
stop taking
yep. So I have to roll to see if somebody in that camp, right, that could potentially hear something. So, but then you're screwed if you're outnumbered by 6 and it all goes wrong. You're at least with another person you have a little more wiggle room, and you always have someone to talk to. Then I mean, here it's just with me, right?
I love the fact when you said, I said, well, I'm going to wait. And you said, roll to see if you pass out or not. And then, you wake up. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know what time it is. I don't know how long it's been. They
and I rolled a 1. You'd been asleep for 1 hour. I rolled 1 to 6. If I had rolled a 6, you would have been woke up while they were making breakfast and shit.
Oh,
Sun up.
I'd have been breakfast.
But I rolled a 1. So again, you slept till like 1 in the morning and woke up before all them, right?
That was good.
It was fun. Yeah. And oh my God, this is why I wish I had my second camera recording at the same time my dice rolls. But then you would have known what you would have seen my dice rolls. But
I prefer not to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But every one of those reaction morale checks, so every time, when you stuck the gun on the guy, that starts a morale check or a reaction check, modified by what you're doing. I kept rolling positive. I mean, they were utterly willing to, they didn't want to die. They didn't want to get shot. They were willing to, it was unbelievable. I could not believe how much. So then I changed dice and was rolling 11s and 12s. I'm like, all right, forget it. Forget it.
That's fun. I love it. Like when it don't go my way, but I thought it was funny because you kept rolling.
Like, I gotta roll. I can't decide. I gotta let the dice decide. That would have been unfair for me to decide.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I'm just saying you kept rolling positive for me, and I could tell you. So I'm like, what? I said I felt the same way when the coolers kept getting rolling 3s and 2s. What the crap? You're killing me.
But that's why I love dice. This is a great. I mean, I wish there was a way to have this conversation, really, but that experience that I'm doing with our football league with that dice set, that's further proof of why the D20. I don't give a shit what anybody says about the D20. The fact that son of a bitch isn't a curve is brilliant. And look what comes out of those flat 5% increment chances of any number coming up. What is coming out of our of a football game is freaking brilliant. And it's all spurred by the fact that a 5% chance that any number can occur. And it's so dynamic, so unpredictable. And I'm telling you, this is why the idea, this is what's pissed me off about and I've said, I'm to blame for this too. Because a few years ago, I ran a group here locally and they were complaining that it was like hit or miss. And I'd never really thought about it until that point. And I thought, well, you go, guys, you got to imagine the fight being, it's not hit or miss. It's more dynamic than that. But then I realized that's not the beauty of the D20. The beauty of the D20 is any number, it's an equal chance that any one of those numbers is going to come up. So I'm seeing now, I'm kind of being reminded doing this football game of how magical that is. You can't predict it. You can't control it. And how dynamic it creates the space for me to narrate, to describe it.
Bingo.
So when somebody says to me, oh, D20, dude, you can't really get into that narrative space, horse shit, the failure or the pass of that number, I have to then come up with how that narratively makes sense.
That's what we're doing with Dive Narrator. It's just a prompt.
Yep.
You get so much percentage of, hey, what's going to happen? And I don't need to argue about why it happened or say I need more of this. Yep. All I need to do is be mature about it and go, that's what happened.
That's right.
I need to deal with it. Right. And then you got the narrative space. Right. Like when you're rolling that thing, and it cracks me up when you said it. You said, coolers are going down the drain, and I'm coming up the spout. And I was like, yeah. And then I had to say, Ardith Gay's like chopping heads down. He's getting rid of people coming in.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm imagining Dale Burnham in the owner's box watching his team dive bomb in the second week in a row, right? He's up there pacing, on the telephone.
It was on national television. Yeah. They're both at home stadium, and we're coming home. We've had wins on the road, and it's just falling apart.
And you're saying not only is my team losing revenue, but now my tortilla company is losing revenue, right?
No, but it's great. All it does is give you a prompt. Yeah. And if you don't, I think that's where people have difficulty because they're not just role playing for the sake of saying what is going to happen, and that joy of it. Yeah. They want to say like, what's going to keep my character alive? What is going to do this?
This is the thing that's dawning on me. it is not how well you narrate your success. It's how we fail to narrate our failures. That's where we're messing up.
Yeah.
We're failing to narrate our failures better.
Yeah, I
So
know.
it makes sense. It's easy
Nobody
to narrate.
wants to.
It's easy to narrate the hit or the stab or the kill or to narrate the leap across the pit. But when people fail that role, they don't narrate. It's like they go, "Oh."
Everybody wants to feel like Batman or some kind of big bad.
Sure.
I'm the hero,
Yeah.
and it's like an automatic pushback on the.
I mean, what did I do the other day? When
But
I
they take it
failed that saving throw and I was sick and poisoned, I narrated. That affected the rest of the game for my character was vomiting.
Growing up, that's the same way.
So I continued to narrate my failure, although my character was not necessarily adversely affected anymore. But in reality, he would have been sick. He
I feel like
points of damage for crying out loud, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's even. I was sick during this adventure, and I think that they're about to lose me, so I'll go ahead and give them my hat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got a little rapport with the guide.
Yeah.
You know, you said he wakes me up smiling, so I can visualize and see this, and it's a real.
Well, that was
story.
my cue that you were down to 15 hit points.
Yeah.
When I said that they're really now worried that they're right. I mean, you went from 27 hit. You went from 27 hit points to 15 with just the fever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm thinking of that game Far Cry where he's got malaria.
Yeah,
you have to get. I mean, that's great. I mean, what I think people really they look at that. They can't accept failure. They have to own it in their mind space.
Well, I think they accept it. They just don't.
No,
I just think we have a bad habit in the D20 OSR of not recognizing the failures can be narrated in such a way that it sets the scene or the pace for the next role or the next thing. We just tend to go, okay, I failed. I don't think we don't set it up with a failure as much as we set it up with success.
But I think it's distasteful. It's that they're not there to fail; they're there to win. Right. So it's like, oh, we'll push it to the side. Let's wait till we get the junk food, the candy. Right. What immediately? It's like we need satisfaction right now and everything else. But you can have so much satisfaction with narrating failures and let that make your character and say, what pain
I have the greatest opportunity to express my character comes when I fail, then when I succeed.
Exactly. I wait for those moments. Like when you was rolling, it was almost like a disappointment to me where you said, oh, they didn't see you. I was like, dang it. You know what I mean? Because it'd be fun to have some caps fly up in your face. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You want to. It's like, that's exciting to me.
Yeah. But that's, that's why I love to play to find out. I don't want to decide that. I want the dice to decide it. And, oh, no, they didn't hear you.
It is a D20. What are the probabilities? What are the odds? You roll it and you find out and say, let's go from that.
Yeah, see, now that time I rolled double one. See, if I'd rolled one of those, you might have ended in one hell of a brawl with 5 rednecks on a pier full of crocodiles. It would have ended up being a remarkable fight with 5 of these guys trying to apprehend you. It would have been great. But I kept rolling 11s and 10s and 9s and 12s. It was crazy. Yeah.
What happened to those boys?
Yeah.
Did he actually see? I was wondering on the boat. Should I get
I already had decided when you sit the boy back, he's going to motor up to him and see him there tied up, and he's going to untie him and get him out of there, right? So,
man, they're just bobbing it like some cord. But the Gators are going to get him. We'll be back before the Gators get you.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, I actually thought if they're splashing around, the Gators are going to get him probably. But when you let the boy go, I thought he'll probably come back and find 1 or 2 barely alive. I
was about to say he would probably go by there, but then again, if he's worried about his. Right. In fact, in my mind, I wanted to see his story.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
The boy's story?
Yeah, it was like I was passing on his story. I was like, that would be interesting to follow him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That would be fun to try sometime.
Yeah.
He's on that. We could do tag out role playing. Where you could say right here, I want to tag over to the boy and play the boy from here on out. And we'd quickly generate his like, especially in AIA. What's his class? All we need to know is what's his class. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. That'd be awesome, man.
You literally could have said, okay, I'm tagging over to be the boy now for the next. It'd be kind of fascinating to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's really good to me that when you can play a story.
Imagine when you found the German and you apprehended the German and you're walking through you could have said, okay, I'm tagging over. I'm going to be the German now. I want to play the German's perspective.
screw that. What about the old boy with the hat? And he goes out with the boy, you know what I mean, in the guide. Because that's what's so brilliant about it. When you narrate like that and you have interactions between even NPCs, characters, player characters, NPCs, player characters, and you breathe life in the situation with you and the GM, and all of a sudden they become personalities that you care about finding out. Now,
you want to know him. You want to know him,
yeah, he's a little toothless guy out there with the hat. That somebody later on he'll have an adventure. You know what I mean? And that's very cool and a microcosm that I went along with. And somebody could actually think, what happened to that dude?
Yeah,
that's when you know you're on something red hot because
and that also tells me that you're immersed because you are paying attention to these characters that I tell you about and describe to you. So that means your character's there, right?
Yeah, I'd already got a little rapport with him when he had my hat. And I grabbed it from him. And you had to roll to see how he was going to react. And the next time I wake up and he's like got a hat and he's smiling in front of me and I wake up, pull it off. We got this thing going back and forth. I finally just give him the hat.
Right.
He thinks I'm about to die anyway.
Yeah.
And old boy, still, those guys are bobbing like corks out there.
Yeah. That was fun, man. I appreciate it, Dale, as always, man.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. Yeah, I needed something to lighten the mood, get me home, everything else.
All right, brother. Well, have a good weekend, and we'll be playing again Sunday with Todd and Joth. So that'll be fun. So
great, man. Anytime you want to jump into AIA or the other one,
yeah. Well, I'm planning on throwing spontaneous games out there. So I've gotten to the point where I am not concerned about prep. I think the games we run spontaneously can be as good gaming as anything you prep and anything you wish, you spend time conjuring and a session zeroing. And at some point, bullshit, let's play the game that lets us do that thing. Here's the thing. I don't think people should be intimidated to play because they may have the greatest games ever to just play, right? They're not always going to be perfect or magical, but you'd be surprised how many high-quality sessions come out of just playing, right?
If you ask Donnie, if she remembers that game of 2061, she'll probably say, I remember those vividly.
Oh, yeah.
In the other games we've played, I'm just saying, as far as you bring her into it and stuff, and you go, those were like really impactful.
Yep.
Like Soda City. I remember RDF. All these guys are like really deep characters. And a lot of them you just make them up on the fly. Like the dog tag killer. I literally just said, dog tag killer.
And why? Because because the game system is so easy. You're free to spend all of that energy creating the space.
Yeah.
And the player. I don't have to worry about the character. It's pretty simple. I've got a +3 with melee. That's simple. Let's just play. And I know when I get in a melee fight, just roll to beat 3, right? And
spend your time.
You just aren't spending any time on the game. You're spending it in the place with the characters.
You're spending the time bringing the characters to life and bringing the world to life and interacting together, and your focus is there. And that's why I don't like to be pulled out of that stuff. To me, it's a break. It takes me away from there. Who was that little dude anyway? Toure or Zanny?
Toure. Yep. Toure. Yep. The toothless little guide. Yep.
With the hat, he's got my hat, so it would have been washed down the river anyway. So good thing he's got it.
Oh, that was fun, man. Well, we had a chance to try Raiders, the OSR by Night Owl. So that's cool. We actually killed a couple of birds here, right? We were able to say we have now played Raiders of the Lost Artifacts by Night Owl Games, which I can honestly say is a cool game, and it's written well. It's well thought out. It's got plenty of detail. It's very cool. And
I like Night Owl.
$8 PDF on Drive-Thru-RPG.
They're cheap, and they're very, I think the guys who make those, they come up with some really unique and cool.
Yeah, they do Colonial.
Bestiary.
Colonial Troopers, Freebooters, Warriors of the Red Planet, and there's one more I think they do, right?
Yeah. I think it's a superhero game.
Oh, it is.
But
you're right.
Warriors of the Red Planet, that's the one I mentioned to Ivan. He got it. And some of the things he pulled out of there and added that Limitations of Martian Princess. That's some of the scariest crap I've ever
Yeah.
faced.
Yeah.
Trying to wrap your head around how to
Yep.
attack these things, whatever. Like one of them literally was just a pink cloud, but it was like a cloud of bacteria that was eating a flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh, that's
And we
awesome
were
as
like
hell.
trying to get away from that crap as
Yeah.
fast.
That's awesome as shit. Yeah. It's awesome.
Still wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares, cold sweats on that. Run away! But anyway, man, yeah, great gaming with you. Anytime you want to jump back in there, I'm game.
Oh yeah. All right, brother.
People would jump along in,
Yeah. Oh no, but I mean, I knew today would be because it's Friday afternoon. It would have been very hard for most people. So, but I thought I'd throw it out there and see if anybody was available. Unfortunately, you were. So here we go. Right. So,
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you, my friend. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you Sunday.
All right. We'll see you then, man.
All right,
Take
bro.
care.
Bye.